Monday through Friday. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co. What up, Lord? What up, Lord? You can call me him. I'm Shay Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. Not trying to ball like Big Four, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co. What up, Lord? What up, Lord? You can call me him. I'm Shay Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. Not trying to ball like Big Four, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co. It's Tingle and Co. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co. What up, Lord? What up, Lord? You can call me him. I'm Shay Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. Not trying to ball like Big Four, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co. It's Tingle and Co. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co. What up, Lord? What up, Lord? You can call me him. I'm Shay Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. Not trying to ball like Big Four, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby.
Marry me, Kingsman.
It's Tingle and Co. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co. notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co. Word up. Word up. It's Tingle and Co. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co. What up, Lord? What up, Lord? You can call me him. I'm Shay Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. Not trying to ball like Big Folk, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go.
Recording in progress.
It's Tingle and Co. Word up. Word up.
All right, good morning and welcome in here on this Thursday morning. This week has flown by. It's gone by very fast.
That has gone by very fast.
Some fun shows the past couple of mornings. Obviously, a lot of news around and about LSU football as the Lane Kiffin era has not been short of that. It's been quite the last couple of months. Everyone in the chat saw Lloyd fired up in the camera there. We were reenacting Poggi from yesterday. It was an awkward transition from Jacques to Rohan. Right, we're on the phone with Jacques. Roe walks through the door, and when Roe walks through that door,
It's Roe time.
it's Tingle and Roe. It's not. He takes over to the show, and so
and we wouldn't want it any other way.
of course. So we don't go to break because Roe's in. He sits down. He's got the mic, and I guess Poggi, in your mind, you think we're on break.
I thought we were for sure on break. Yeah, 100%.
And so we're, I tell Wyatt to tell Roe the story, and we're doing that, and Poggi just walked across and dapped everybody else.
Nice.
But I appreciate that you're a dap up guy.
I am, yeah.
Like anytime you walk in, anytime you walk out.
Yeah.
It's just polite.
You say hello, you say goodbye. I just had to,
You're
I
raised
just-
right.
Yeah, I just had no idea we were still going live.
It would make sense to go to break there, though, but
It would. No,
it
I
also
understand
does
that.
not with Roe walking in. I mean,
Right.
you got to capture all.
Yes,
This
it's
But
on
it's
me.
also what makes
It's
what makes our
accountability.
show-
End up accountability on this one.
it's what makes our show our show.
It's the charm.
Yeah, I mean it's the
But to add even another layer to it, we can't go to break because my phone is still plugged in to the phone call with Jacques, so there's no audio for me to go to break to, and so I can't go to break.
Yeah.
And so Ro walks in, and it's like, well, I don't want to waste his time.
Straight to it.
And Jacques was like, oh, the great Rohan Davey has walked in. It's like, yep. And then Poggi across the screen. I was like, this is the show.
That's how we do it here at Tingle & Co. We appreciate you starting your morning with us every single morning from 8 to 10 a.m. Yesterday, don't forget. Well, go ahead.
I was going to say, the reason I was a little late was traffic, but have you put your headphones in?
Have I put these in?
I stumbled into some, I don't want to call it junk science, but fell into this algorithm
hear.
of 432 hertz to help you sleep. Have you ever heard this?
No, is that what you're about?
This is what I put on, and it's like 18 hours.
Last night?
Yes. And so I woke up, did my little dance, take my happy pill. 6:30, all good. Wake up again at like 6:45, 7. Start doing my routine to get ready, and this is still playing. And I immediately fell back asleep. I woke up at 7:45, but this is still. I was like, oh, it got me. It works because I was in a slumber.
It is a dangerous game,
Yeah,
especially
yes,
right
no.
now. Especially right now for all of our viewers at 8 a.m. If you're
So
behind
be
the
wary.
wheel,
It
turn
works.
down.
Just
Yeah.
be wary.
It does work. That's hilarious. The video makes it even better.
Yeah, that's me. I was going to the ethereal plane.
But we appreciate all of you hanging out with us. Don't forget, every single day our show is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook, they are the best, and we appreciate our partnership with them for all of 2026. Yesterday's FanDuel bet did not cash as we bet on Kentucky to cover versus Tennessee. It was 6.5 was the line. Kentucky wins 85-80. So we were right to feel like Kentucky was going to stay hot and win. Just didn't win by quite enough.
Yeah, we're getting this is all gamblers.
Yep.
In their infancy. You feel like you're on the right side.
Right.
It's the points.
Yes.
It's Vegas. Sharp with the pencil, and they'll get you. So we have to be sharper.
But what I should have done yesterday is gone with my gut. Because I wanted to take Pels plus 11, and I didn't.
Because?
And the Pelicans lost by 8 points.
Fair enough. It was 50-50, though.
It was. I wanted
mean,
to
Trey
go Pels
Murphy-
plus 11.
Trey Murphy, did he? I guess it would have been a, what's the word for a tie?
Push.
It would have
A
been a
pu- it
push.
would've been
Because
a
it was
push.
11 points,
Yeah.
and then Trey Murphy goes down, hits a 3 before the clock runs out.
Put
Cover.
him on the list.
Put him on the list.
Also,
good
the
list.
decision was
Yeah.
made. The decision was made before Cade Cunningham was announced.
Yes, it was. It was. But the
If you
Pels
would have taken
covered.
his points, I guess that would have been put. That would have been a void bet.
Yes, it would have been.
Now, in the
but-
old days, you would just get bent over and licked.
Yeah.
And
we
then
should've-
stuck.
That's
Should
cool.
have went with our gut and took Pels plus 11 as they covered. Kentucky minus 6.5 did not. But we'll make sure we'll get you one for today. We'll look into it, see what we got, because I've got one I feel pretty confident in for this evening. Because at 8 p.m. LSU women's basketball takes on Texas A&M in College Station. They don't have the line out yet, but when it does come out, I'm going to take the Tigers on whatever the points are, because I have a feeling that they are going to prove a point in College Station to continue this hot streak after back-to-back ranked wins. The Tigers tonight versus Texas A&M in College Station. Late tip, 8 p.m. That's when they play. But at 9 a.m. this morning, Glen West will join us to talk some LSU football. Big Glen over from 247 Sports, where he covers LSU. He's a senior writer over there, does great work. Make sure you follow him on his social medias and be ready, tuned in, and locked in at 9 a.m. this morning when he joins us to talk everything LSU football, because yesterday was a big day. Even though it maybe wasn't as big of a day as some anticipated or hoped, because there's 2 pieces of news you're waiting on yesterday. You get one of them. And I know it can seem maybe a little underwhelming with all that's going on in the Jordan Seaton situation, the saga, the battle between LSU, Miami, and Oregon for the top offensive lineman. But you should not be you should not allow this to go under the radar. As Principal Uman Mielen commits to LSU yesterday, he was the number 3 player in the On3 portal rankings, and obviously he would be number 3 with Sam Levitt sitting at number 1. So LSU now has the commitment of number 1 and number 3 in the portal. But he was Ole Miss's sack leader last year. I believe he had 44 total tackles, 11.5 TFLs, 15 quarterback hurries, and 9 sacks to lead the Rebels last year. And he did all that only starting 1 game. Only played about 400 defensive snaps, and did put together those numbers. But he's a huge addition for LSU. And like I said, obviously with the Jordan Seaton stuff going on, it can fly under the radar a little bit, but it shouldn't, because LSU, if you were to look at the roster prior to Prince Will committing, you would see a lot of talent offensively, the quarterback room, the running back room, the wide receiver room. You'd see Trades Green. You'd see an offensive line that you can put a 5 out there, right? That's something, with experience and with talent as well. And then defensively, you would look all over. You'd see really good corners, a great safety room, stud linebackers in Daughtery, Weeks, and Keys. Those are top SEC tacklers. You look at the defensive line and you see some experience on the interior. But the biggest question mark was, okay, who's the guy off the edge? Who is your quarterback pass rusher? Who's going to go get the QB? You've got Gabe Relaford, who we're all very high on here, coming off an injury, right? So you'll see how he adjusts coming back from an injury this past season. You've got Jordan Ross. Potential through the roof. Doesn't have the experience. He's not proven just yet. You bring Jaylen Brown over from South Carolina with starting Lucas, the whole deal. You've got Kalaj Cobbins and Dylan Carpenter and all those guys. You needed somebody to be the guy. It was, does LSU have the guy? Well, now they do, and look at him. He's got the VR headset on already. Hadn't even taken the backpack off yet.
Here,
We've got the headset on. Locked in, ready to work. LSU needed the guy to go get a quarterback, and they got him. They got Ole Miss's sack leader, 9 sacks last season. Like we said yesterday, the last time LSU had a player with 9 or more sacks was Arden Key's record year in 2016 with 12. Braden Swinson did have 8.5 in 24. Can't forget about that. He was impressive. But LSU hasn't had that dominant pass rusher go get to the quarterback. Last season you thought maybe, right? You added some key pieces through the portal. Harold Perkins led you in sacks with 4 last year, which is doubled up by what Princeville did in Ole Miss last year.
I do think it's easy to look at the numbers and be like, oh, LSU didn't have a dominant pass rusher, but they did have a good pass rush because the sack numbers are the way that Blake Baker had to scheme it up still allowed you to get pressure. Now this changes his defensive ability whenever.
Yes.
Look at teams that win Super Bowls, that win national championships, namely the NFL style of can you get pressure with 4? And that makes great quarterbacks not so great. Roe was talking about it a little bit off air when he was talking about I don't mind. He said it on air. He's like, I don't mind pressure coming off the edges. It's the pressure in the middle that, as a quarterback that likes to sit in the pocket or whatever, if you get me off my spot, you saw this happen to Drew Brees later in his career whenever they moved, the Vikings that moved Daniil Hunter inside and disrupted his entire game because he likes to operate within the pocket. If I can't go up. Then I can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And so I can maneuver this way. And so if LSU, with their ability to get pressure off the edge and now create pressure in a multitude of ways with Blake Baker, as he did last year when you had the corner cat blitz that was always like in the back pocket that made plays for you all year. That's still in the cards. But if you can get pressure with 4 and off the edge with legitimate pass rushes, you've had 2 5-stars now?
Yep.
Jordan Ross and Prince Uamu-Ellen.
Prince
Will. Not Prince. I just
Prince Will. Prince Lee, Prince Will.
Prince Will. I'm sure that the household was tough. Somebody's in trouble. Prince Will, Prince Lee, get down here.
I wonder the middle names.
Yeah, I think there might be like a squeeze them together.
Will.
Prince Lee, Prince Will, and then they just made it cooler.
All I know is going to be able to get to the quarterback. We should be saying that name a lot.
Yes.
In excitement after he gets to the, but yeah, and this is the thing with the LSU edge rushing room. They haven't done, prior. They hadn't done a very good job in high school recruiting that position, which is why you look at last season, you've got to go into the portal, and 3 of your top 4 guys were 1-year rentals to come in, and Jack Pyburn, Jamari Butler, and Patrick Payton. You needed these 3 guys to come in and be your guys, but you were only going to have them for a year, right? They all leave because they're out of eligibility, and you look back and you're like, okay, well, what's next? You've still got Relaford, you've got Kalaj Cobbins, you've got Dylan Carpenter, some guys that got some experience, right, but are still young. Damian Shanklin got some spot opportunities, but was a true freshman. C.J. Jackson hits the portal, and so you're looking at that room and you're like, okay, we've got to find some opportunities, find some guys to get out there and play. And they've done an extremely good job at adding depth to that defensive line room, especially the edge room. And at this point, with this commitment, not depth, but top-end talent.
Starter.
I mean, this is a plug-and-play starter who's going to go from 400 snaps at Ole Miss to 600 snaps at LSU. Because I think defensively they played about 700 or so last year.
At LSU you play about 900.
Right. So
because you 3 and out does do a toll. But now that might change. And even with the snap count can still be high because now you're going to be on the field for a different reason. Because it might be.
We might score too fast.
Might score too fast.
But
something we became accustomed to. And then it got taken away.
Yes.
And now it should be back. If one thing you can bet on, the Lane Kiffin offense.
And that's where, and I don't want to get in the conversation of comparing an addition of potentially Seaton or Umar. I don't think it was ever a situation of you're only going to get one or the other, right? The goal is to get both, and you still very well could get both pieces. But it could be debated that a top-tier number one edge rusher was more of a glaring need on this team than the number one left tackle. Because, now I'm not saying it would be the impact it make would be too much, but Lane Kiffin and the way he runs offense, he will adapt to the line he has. He has pieces on that offensive line to play. He's gone out in the portal. You went and got the guy from Maryland. You got the guy from Baylor. Experienced pieces. You got Braylon Moore back. Weston Davis played a whole SEC season last year. You hope he gets developed. And Lane Kiffin would be able to offensively adapt if it is a weakness. Now, Jordan Seaton being plugged in would make everything else fall in line. You would be drastically better from an offensive line standpoint. But Lane Kiffin and his ability to call an offense and scheme it up would be able to adapt to whatever weakness you may have. Defensively, they would still be able to do that, right? Blake Baker did it last season when they had some weaknesses or maybe some spots where they weren't as good. He was able to scheme it up. He can scheme up pressure better than anybody else. He's going to, like to Lloyd's point, he'll be a whole lot more dangerous when he doesn't have to scheme the pressure and they can get it with 4. And it doesn't have to be a cat corner blitz that gets the sack. Now, you can still do that. DJ Pickett or P.J. Woodland can still go get the quarterback from the cornerback side, right? But if you've got Principal Uman-Mielen and you don't have to scheme up a blitz and you can just put 4 guys down on the line of scrimmage to go get him, that makes Blake Baker a whole lot more dangerous. And the weapons that he's been provided up to this point through the portal will be huge.
And we have made a big deal about Jordan Seaton because it does, as we talked about, makes it everything kind of falls into place, right, on your offensive line where you don't have to maneuver in a certain way to be like, oh, maybe this is development. Maybe he can play here. You have plug-and-play left tackle, same thing you have with an edge rusher like Prince will. But maybe that was the post. Maybe it was blindside.
Blindside sack.
Right. Watch your blindside because Principal's coming. But I'm looking at the Oregon registrar. I hate these words because it reminds me so much of school. They don't have initial registration. Their final day to enroll is February 23rd. So I guess they're operating on a different calendar over there in Eugene.
Lord have mercy. February 23rd.
I don't know what any of this means, but spring 2026.
Do they get out later, maybe?
I would assume so. Seems like it's all pushed back a bit. And this is what's funny about all of this is because college sports have changed so much, and the conversation around all this is the money and the portal and the free agency and the whole thing. But then it's like, okay, well, what's the pressure now? Well, enrollment for classes.
Which class?
It's like, wait, what?
Online, he enrolled.
You know?
And lest LSU be made the bad guy again, because Ole Miss did this to LSU. With what they did with Principal's ability to enroll at LSU. And I don't think it's a far stretch to say that when it comes to academia and LSU athletics, I don't think, we have that guy that always tweets about the library.
Yes.
Like, they got all the really good, big
Robert Mann?
Up. Yeah, what? Okay, nobody goes to the library. I can't find a reason to go. I do know what I do on Saturday, though, and it's not the library.
Right.
And the library's closed on Saturdays.
It should be, unless you wanted to, find the hole.
Well, they should open it for the bathrooms.
Right. There's one, third floor?
Bathrooms? There's one on the first floor.
Yeah, you don't know
That's not what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Continue, Lloyd.
But for Ole Miss to hold, there's a glory hole in the third floor. To hold his ability to transfer is dirty work.
Yeah.
Obviously he wants to leave, and then they're going to cry tampering because he immediately enters the portal and finds a school.
Right.
Well, I've been in the portal. Essentially, you just wouldn't let me get into the portal. Here's your $500K. Wipe your tears with it. Let my boy in the portal. And now you're pushing up against the academic calendar, and it feels as if even the academic side is like, they try to do you dirty. Let's let the kid get an education. Isn't that the whole point of this?
Right.
Student athlete.
Because that's my thing is I know people, especially the academics versus athletics crowd, because it is a very prominent talking point.
I mean, it happened when they
around
were in
LSU.
elementary school.
Right. But to me, and the way I've always operated, is if LSU wants to make something happen,
Get out the way.
They're going to make it work, right? If Jordan Seaton or Prince Uman commit a couple of days later than enrollment ends, okay, I would love for them to walk into my class a couple of days later, and you know what I would say? I'll give you the answer.
What you want me to call you?
Yeah, I mean, and if you think there's I don't think there's going to be any pushback because, you know, we talked about this alignment. We talked about the structure of, I mean, what's the second or I guess the third rung on that totem pole when it goes governor, board of supervisors, who's next?
President.
The school president, right?
I was going to say AD.
There you go.
As Lane Kiffin.
Right, but after the president would be the AD, right? And they're all, you see the president and Virgil Osbury sit by the whole thing. I mean, LSU is not known for its academics.
Jay Johnson, AD president.
Yeah.
There you go. And they'll make it work. You know, I think if they need to make it work, they can make it work. That's just, and maybe I'm oblivious or just, you know, I'm looking too optimistically. I just, in my mind, the way it's always operated is if LSU needs to make something work for a football player, they're going to make it work. Especially when it's one of these two guys' caliber.
And it also feels like Seaton isn't too worried about, even probably if I were him, nice to be here for spring football, but I don't necessarily have to.
Okay, I'll ask you, how worried are you about if he's here for spring football or not?
In what way? Like if he's on the team or if he's not on any team?
No. If he's on the team but he can't practice for spring.
That man can roll out of bed and
that's
play left
my
tackle.
thought process.
Yeah. And I don't think that causes a rift in the locker room because, look, as long as football has existed, preferential treatment has existed. If you're good enough, you get away with stuff. And he's good enough to where I think everybody in that room knows if he walks through that door, he's playing.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. And so I think he's taking as much time as – and some people can say, and I put it on the chat yesterday, if you're – like I put it on the poll, if you're tired of the transfer portal because of the Seaton saga.
Of course.
And some people are like, yes. Like, well, are you tired of it if you get Seaton? And that it caused a little bit of a rift in the voting because
there's a lot.
Well, I hate it, but unless it works for me,
right?
And that's the scenario in which you're at. Do you want him? Yes. Is it going to be a headache? It is, absolutely. But that's just the thought of even entertaining the guy, where you're spending hours more in the air than you are with your feet on the ground to try to woo a potential top 10 pick. Because that's how good he is.
To me, things need to change. It needs to get structured and figured out because this is a mess overall.
Enroll online.
But while it's a mess, I would love LSU to take advantage of every opportunity they can and build this roster up as much as possible. And then once we've stacked the deck, then you can start to figure out your rules or whatever.
Go loot.
But as of right now, these are the rules, and this is how it's going to operate. But it is, you know, the Seaton saga is one that is ruling the LSU airwaves right now because they're in a battle. And I will admit to this as well as I think a lot of us. I sat on Monday feeling very confident when he didn't leave to go to Oregon. And then Tuesday morning, after he stayed for the whole day and he went to the governor's mansion, the whole thing, feeling really confident that it just wasn't going to be a competition. LSU got him. And that's where I'll hand up. I was wrong. And I should have known better because it was always going to be a battle. It was always going to be, well, why wouldn't you take the Oregon visit? Like, that was even my point on Tuesday. Like, I'm surprised because to me, of course I'm going to take the Oregon visit. I can get a check that's blank with a Nike check on the top.
Yeah.
That'd look sick.
It's literally shaped like a check.
I'd frame that and put it in, put it in my room.
Yeah, Ricky, where's that $1 million? It's on the wall, baby.
It's on the wall. And so it was always going to be a battle. He is the most sought-after prospect in the transfer portal right now. And teams like Miami, Oregon, and LSU have been proven to be spenders and have a need. And you can see them right now battling it out for the number one offensive lineman in the portal. He's a plug-and-play guy that's demanding a check. I mean, it's quarterback-type money. Sam Levitt got 5.5. I mean, Seaton could demand 4. That's quarterback money. That's what it was. The offer for Trinidad Chambliss was for him to come to LSU. It was like, what, 3.6, 3.8? That's what Seaton's demanding because it's an important position and there is demand for it. And so they're in a battle right now. And I don't know how long the battle will last. But these are the new recruiting wars in college football. Right? You have Jordan Seaton who's feeling confident, or LSU who's feeling confident in where Jordan Seaton's at on Monday. But there's probably voices in the ear. We've heard a lot about the uncle. They're like, well, you should at least still talk to Oregon. We should weigh this out, right? See how this goes. Play the game. And that's the dangers of the new sport, right? There's a lot of voices in the room. And there always has been. There have always been the recruitments that are heavily weighed by family members and those sorts of things, but now it's more prevalent, right? Because now your roommate can be your agent, and your buddy can be your manager, and you don't always get the best advice.
And your uncle can form an LLC and be your CEO.
Right. Yeah. Nico at Tennessee, his dad stepped in, wanted him to get more money. He ends up having to leave and take less at UCLA.
It doesn't always work out.
It doesn't always work out, but these things are going to continue to happen, and this is recruiting in today's college football, college sports era. It's ridiculous. Well, it's where the sport is.
It is. I mean, I get you saying it's ridiculous, but it's not. It's the most fundamental truth there is. Like, follow the money, right? Yeah. Like, it's the only way it makes it for some. Like, it used to be under the table where you did these dealings. It was like, this is a nightmare who I'm having to deal with to try to get. I'm just trying to win football games or win basketball games, and it was never very public. Now it's being played out very publicly, so you know what's happening above board. And even then, they're still under the table of, he wants this, and this. Like, does he want it or do you want it?
Right.
And at some point, like, you can only say yes so much until it's like, okay, you've gotten everything. And then they still could go to Oregon and say, well, they offered 2. It's like, okay, go. And, at some point you walk away from the table. But at LSU, it doesn't seem they walk away from the table very often.
And to me,
you wouldn't even be in this conversation if it's Brian Kelly.
Well, and to me, the difference is like
$1 million.
The LSU side in this Seaton recruitment is different than anything else, and maybe it's just because that's the only one we're looking at or reading into. But I mean, he came to Baton Rouge, he stayed for an extra 24 hours and canceled another visit. And then Lane Kiffin hopped on a plane and did the same. So what Dan Lanning went out of his way to do, Lane Kiffin did the same thing after having him in Baton Rouge for 48 hours. And so to me, I still feel like LSU sits in a good spot here. It's a battle. It's not done. But I'm still confident in where LSU resides. Because
hat on the table.
LSU is a hat on the table. They provide things that these other schools might not be able to provide outside of the money. I mean, look at the 3 head coaches, right, in these battles. Cristobal, Lanning, and Kiffin. Kiffin's an offensive guy. This is you're on hit, and what Cristobal was offensive line. So I mean, maybe it gives them an edge, but you can come to Baton Rouge on a roster that's already loaded, already has the number 1 quarterback, be plug and play. You're going to get paid handsomely. In the biggest brand of the sport, the most talked about program in the sport right now. Miami just played in the national championship, and they're still not talked about as much as LSU is. And the price is going to continue to get driven up.
I guess to play devil's advocate, the only thing that could be going against LSU is the level of competition, right? Or you could be somewhat exposed. You're at Colorado, which that should be a red flag in itself of this is going to be more. It's going to take a little bit longer to get across the finish line,
Right.
Because he was a 5-star left tackle, number one offensive lineman in the country coming out of high school, and they did the old switcheroo to go to Dion in Colorado.
Right.
Now you're in the portal because that thing is a sinking ship, so you're jumping off. I get it. It was fun when Shador was there, and now it's not. But you didn't play anybody, but because of the build and the numbers you put up in terms of not giving up numbers, you don't give up sacks, you don't hold, there's no penalties. But now you're stepping into a different arena. If I'm pitching against LSU, it's like, I'm the Big 12. You're not going to face freaks on the other side that can expose you. So, yeah, if you're ready for that level of competition.
So Miami would be the biggest winner in that conversation.
Absolutely. And because of what he's already done, like this is only hurting a little bit. It'll go away. The draft stock in the conversation because now a bit of, look at me as an offensive lineman. But if you don't want to be exposed, go to the ACC, go to the Big 12 where you're going to face pasty whites as opposed to what you're going to see at LSU every Saturday and in practice. And it will be easy, but if you're everything you're cracked up to be, you can improve your draft stock or you can sit there and go to a middling conference and be a top 10 pick. You don't even have to play and you'll probably still get drafted in the first round.
Oh, yeah.
He knows where to go if he wants competition.
Right. And I don't know if that's what he's looking for.
That comes down to the player's motivation. Is it to line up across from Dylan Stewart?
Right.
Or is it to get the check and kind of just, you can go to Miami, play against not top competition, and get to the biggest scale, the whole thing.
But it's like, I feel like even if he doesn't, have the exact same season he had this year, his draft stock's still probably going to go up just because of the competition that he's playing against.
Potentially.
Like whether...
It's a risk.
It might be, but I also think that scouts can look at, okay, well, he's going up against the top 5 D lineman in the country almost every week, or a top 5 edge rusher. That's got to mean something along the line, wouldn't you think?
You put good film together, because I saw Card of the Power actually put out some film of him pulling on a goal line play, and I mean...
Oh, he's an athlete.
Dude.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's a monster.
Yeah,
if that doesn't turn you on.
Yeah, put him in. You can tush push with this man. Hike him the football.
And that's where. So I'll ask. I'll bring up the
Yeah.
conversation. Yeah, I mean, it's what's the guy from Alabama, Proctor?
Yeah,
Split him out. I mean,
throw him the Oh, it's to me.
We got Trey Green already. We're good.
That is true. My question is, and because I see him talking about it in the chat, is money-wise, right? This price is going to continue to get driven up. And I know it's a very, very hot topic to talk about is, should we pay that much? Should LSU pay that much?
If you got it, spend it.
That's the mindset I think
It's not mine.
in. Right. I mean, like, if you have the money.
If you're willing to spend the money.
If you have it, do it. Like, if it's there, this is a plug-and-play guy at left tackle. If you've got the $4 million.
There's a reason that LSU is still in the conversation, and it's because of how much of a difference that can make. It could be a plug-and-play guy that could help you win a national championship versus a rotating situation on the offensive line where you're in week 3 and you still don't know, and it's like, well, Lane Kiffin could scheme up around this and this, and I mean, you just saw what happened when you don't have an offensive line, right? Or a scheme that works with a not very good offensive line. Your offense was putrid. You couldn't, like, that's the other stark difference between Garrett Nussmeier in 2024 versus 2025. Look who he had to tackle. He was able to maneuver within the pocket because he didn't have to spin around and run 25 yards backwards and then get sacked. He was able to maneuver in the pocket, trusted what was behind him without having to look at it, and play very good football. You lose your left tackle, you lose your right tackle, and then it became an absolute shit show. And so that's why LSU is still fighting tooth and nail, because you know that this could be the difference between 9 wins or national championship. And if you think I'm wrong, look at what a left tackle does. Look at where the Patriots are right now. Look at the stark difference it made whenever you added Will Campbell and how much Drake May improved.
There's a reason they get paid so much.
Exactly. It's the second to third most important player on your football team.
If you can go get your quarterback is one. If you can go get an edge rusher, a left tackle, or a lockdown corner. Those are the...
And you got one already, and you got 3 already, and you got 4 already. You have a quarterback, you have your edge rusher, you have your
corners.
And now you're looking for one more, and he's there. And
right.
If it becomes...
And if you have the ability to put the offer together and spend it...
That's why you go talk to the governor. Like, maybe funnel this. Oops, fell off the truck.
I'll give you some tax dollars.
Right, like something, because that's how important this piece is. And I understand that people are going to complain. You're going to complain until he's here. Like, this is what LSU fans and most college football fans do, is I'm off the Seaton conversation until he commits. And then he does, like, oh, look it up. And then you're going to drag your nuts and make AI bullshit and fucking paste it on the internet. And, like, this looks stupid.
Who specifically are you talking
Everybody.
about? Everybody.
That's on that burner accounts. It's just like, this is slop. And it's like, oh, please retweet me like Kiffin, please. And, okay, but right now you're sitting here crying wolf about, oh, I don't want him, I'm off him. I'm not paying. Oh, you're not paying anyway. It's not your money. And if it were, and if you are one of those people, please do.
Well, and to the point, H-Town says in the chat, because it's a valid viewpoint. So LSU will be in the same position next season looking for a left tackle. Yeah, that's the sport. Like, I mean, look at edge rusher right now. You had to go out because you didn't recruit it very well. So you had to go out and you had to pay for Patrick Payton, Jack Piper, and Jamari Butler. Well, guess what? You can only get 1 year out of those guys. Those guys leave. So then what do you have to do? You've got to pay Jordan Ross, Jalen Brown, and Prince Wu Monmiel. You had to do it again, right? That's you went and you paid C.J. Daniels to play wide receiver. He left, and so what'd you have to do? Then you have to go pay Nick Anderson. You just went and paid for Sam Levitt. If it goes according to plan, he leaves. Luckily, you got your next quarterback in line. But if you hadn't gotten Longstreet, you'd be back in the portal to go get another quarterback, right? It's going to be musical chairs each season.
Well, if you're
when you pay for
your roster,
the roster. And look, I'm not saying I agree. NIL always needed to happen because the way the NCAA was making money off of athletes was a problem. NIL was needed. This isn't what NIL was supposed to be.
No, it's not.
LSU was extremely prepared for what NIL, in theory, was supposed to be up front. It was supposed to be, oh, we can put you on a billboard in Times Square. We can get you that's what the Nike deal that LSU has with the list of athletes. That's what NIL is supposed to be. They can go get brand deals. They can go get they can Derek Stingley and walk-ons, the whole thing. Like that can happen. Well, then it turned into, well, we can just make a big old pot of cash and start throwing it at players and they'll come play here.
Who got $1 billion that went to LSU? I need it.
Right. That's what it turned into. Now they're trying to solve it with the rev share because that's also part of the conversation is they do deserve some of the cheddar from the TV rights because guess what I'm turning on the TV to watch? Them.
Not the AD or the conference commissioner.
And so they deserve some of the check. But the fact that there aren't any rules are the issue right now. And so it does need to change. It does need to be adjusted. But until it is, you need to do what you can do to be successful in where it currently sits. Because if you sit back and you say, you know what, we're going to do it our way, right? Because it needs to change, and this isn't how it's supposed to work. So
I'm going to take a stand.
We're going to keep doing it right. Did that sound like anybody? Well, I'm not paying $1 million for a player. Right? You just fired that guy. You just got rid of that mindset.
I'll give $1 million, I guess.
For a Nissan Altima.
$1 million.
It's going to, and so, yes, it needs to be fixed. It is a mess.
But until then,
you need to do what you can to be successful.
And imagine not being able to compete. That at least LSU is in the market.
That's where LSU thought they were 365 days ago.
No, I mean 4 years ago. Like, it was such a virgin mindset to be like, oh, this is what it is. Of course it's going to – everybody's going to play by the same rules, right? Like, no. You should have seen this coming, and kudos to LSU for figuring it out maybe a day late or a year late, 2 years late. But you saw them finally be like, oh, this is the way that it's going. You either get with it or you're going to get lost. And you've seen it happen where LSU has been lost. You're no longer – when it comes to competing in that conversation anymore until now, when you added one person who was very much at the forefront of investing into what the new college football looks like. So you went and got the bright mind from Silicon Valley. It's like, I built Google. Do you want blockchain? You don't know how the internet works. And now this guy does. And so that's where you were. You were operating on who's got mail. And now you're like, actually, you can do a VPN to be able to send anything that you want and look at whatever you want. Or you can go to mesh streams if you don't want to pay for it. Like, there's a million different avenues for this, but you're still trying to sign up for Fubo. Like, stop spending your money over here when you can spend it or not spend it over here. And LSU was finally caught up with it. It was an absolute, like, what do you mean you've had sex with somebody else? I thought you were waiting. I was waiting until I got married.
And is it?
What are you doing?
Is this can LSU be successful in this long-term, year in year? I don't know.
At this point, yeah, it seems like it.
But I also don't think the sport is going to continue in this way. But there will always be the next problem. There will always be the next issue of, okay, well, now that you've gotten that solved, right? Because they thought they got the portal window thing solved. And I don't know if you did, because this is, I mean, it's January 22nd. I was supposed to close on the 16th. And so the biggest issue is, can you turn around and do it in the next offseason? Well, guess what? That's next offseason's.
It's a future you problem.
Issue. That's the sport. It's a year in, year out thing.
Yeah. And Kiffin's doing a great job with that. Like, taking advantage of what he has right now, worry about the future at a different
when
point.
It's the future.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we'll get to next off season when we get to next off season. We're worried about right now. We're going to spend everything that we got right now and screw everybody else. This is what we got.
Well, because if you're Lane Kiffin, that I would do the same thing. Like, I came here to compete because I'm not here to go 8-4.
Right.
I didn't leave what we had at Ole Miss where it's not the same, but I was able to build a winner. Now you're giving me all the things that I need. What do you think I was going to come in here and do? Save money? Like, we need to make a statement now. And if you do, even if you look, you're all competing to be the last team at the end, right? That's the ultimate goal. Is 100%. It easy? No. It's the hardest thing to do in your sport, is to win a national championship. But in that same breath, if you can get to a college football playoff, if you can have a home college football playoff game, the revenue that you bring in, what you do for the state, what you do for the university, they're investing in that the money is going to come back on the back end at some point of, if you build sustained success at LSU, you're going to be profitable.
Well, and not just,
so you're investing in the future as opposed to playing catch up like you were the last 5 years.
And it's not just the home playoff game. It's Clemson week 1, then it's Texas A&M week 5 or whatever, and then it's Alabama and Texas later on in the season. If you are a competitive team in November, those games are playoff games, and Baton Rouge will be packed. So there's always the financial return of, if you spend the money and you get the coach and the team and you're competitive going into this season. I mean, there's going to be financial return multiple weekends if you continue to be a competitive and playoff-driven football team. If you're in the mix for the playoff, when Alabama and Texas come to town, it's going to be a madhouse. And then if you make the playoff, like Lloyd said, a home playoff game. It all works hand in hand, and I know that long term, is this going to be sustainable? I don't know. But what I do know is, as of right now, you're going after 2026. You're not. The thought process isn't 2027.
And they'll get there,
because that was the mindset that got
LSU in this predicament.
Was year 3.
Well, actually, I meant year 4.
It didn't work.
Well, wait,
Right?
I was thinking year 5 maybe if you give me one more.
Yeah, we're keeping receipts. I'll see you at the national championship. You won't even make it through week 10, buddy.
And the good thing is,
Loser.
we are going to sit and watch it all unfold, front and center.
And you're in the game.
In the way the sport changes, because it's going to change. It has to. It can't continue to operate under this manner.
Well,
And it's bigger than football, right? There's so many questionable situations in every sport. I mean, we talked about the guy at Alabama that's coming back from the league because what they said in the report, he wants to finish his education, right?
We got in there just in time.
Just
Here's
in
your
time,
syllabus
yep.
and your uniform.
Spring semester, let's go, Charles.
Been here before.
He played for I think it was the Pistons G League team in Birmingham against the Pelicans G League team, like last week.
Oh, so you didn't even have to move.
He's already been.
My dorm's still set up.
He probably swung by T-Town just to
Meet with the coach.
get everything in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Nate, I mean, let's get this figured out while I'm here.
I mean, I still got my lease, right?
And so there's a lot of issues in the sport right now. So we're going to have to continue to sit and watch
Well,
as it changes because it's going to change.
Well, and people are right to worry about 2027 because you're seeing players capitalize on the bubble that's being created by teams that are willing to pay whatever.
Right.
And so it was $1 million, right, for a left tackle. It's like, oh, that seems like a big number. Now it's 5.
Yep.
And now people are seeing that, and they're seeing how schools will bend to the will of the player to get you into school, to do whatever it takes, to have you on the roster. It's like, well, what if I want 10 next year? Because right now the going rate is 5. And so, and that's where you do see the rift at whether it was Ole Miss, whether it's true or not, of people being like, oh, you brought him in for what? I've been here for
Right.
3 years, and you're paying me 2. And then it becomes this ever-escalating thing, and this is how a bubble is created, and this is how stock markets crash. But that is the going concern, or the growing concern going forward,
Yeah.
is where does this stop? Because you're having quarterbacks, some say I want to go to the NFL, but getting paid the same as a rookie quarterback to play in college. More. And
Ty Simpson was choosing between $2 million, in
whatever
wherever team drafts him, or $6.5 million to go to Miami.
now.
Yeah, tomorrow.
And so
Right. It's in the count, bro.
we'll continue to watch the sport develop. Don't forget, every single day we are brought to you by AJ Sports Cards, our friends over at AJ Sports Cards here in Baton Rouge. They have been a part of the Tingle & Co. team since day one, since before day one. They bet on us from the jump, and we appreciate them. Make sure we return the favor if you appreciate what they do here for us, keeping this show rocking and rolling every single day. AJ Sports Cards, located at 3348 Drusilla Lane, is where their store is. You walk in, check out. They've got cards, packs, boxes. They've got some memorabilia. It's awesome. I mean, you get in there and you can just really get entrapped in everything they have in that store. And you can also go out and check out what they've got on social media. AJ Sports Cards on Facebook and at AJ Sports Cards 225BR on Instagram. They keep you up to date on everything they've got in store. If they've got new stuff coming out, they've received new things in the mail that you can go in there and get. If they've got specials, and anytime they have an event. We went to the one at the Crown Plaza back in June, and it was awesome. It was packed out, and guess what? It was so good, when they did it again, they had to change locations because the Crown Plaza was packed. It was tight in there. They had all the vendors. It was an awesome, awesome event. Just wasn't enough room. And so they went into the Elite Football Academy back in December, and it was another awesome event. So make sure you go follow them so you can stay up to date on all of that. We will take a quick break here and come right back to open up hour number 2 with Glen West from 24/7 Sports.
Wardo's was created in honor of Alan Ward Branning III, fondly known by family and friends as Wardo. In 2019, the oldest brother of the tribe passed away unexpectedly. His remaining siblings and loved ones wanted to honor his memory in a special way. In 2022, Ward's family decided to combine the need for a sandwich shop in downtown Natchez with a desire to pay tribute to Ward's love of good friends, good times, and great food. Through blood, sweat, tears, and countless hours of hard work, Wardos was born. So go visit Wardos today at 309 North Broadway Street in Natchez, where the po' boys are so good, you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
Hey, Miss Lou, come visit us, Tom and Wright Branding at Go Martin on the Go Deli.
Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need.
Located at the corner of Highland Boulevard and Highway 61 South in Natchez.
Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff,
where everyone is family.
When it comes to your home, the roof over your head matters. At CAS Roofing, we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's repair, a replacement, or storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing, it's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing, built on trust, backed by quality.
Hey, Miss Lou, come visit us, Tom and Wright Branding at Go Martin on the Go Deli.
Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need.
Located at the corner of Highland Boulevard and Highway 61 South in Natchez.
Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff,
where everyone is family.
When it comes to your home, the roof over your head matters. At CAS Roofing, we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's repair, a replacement, or storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing, it's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing, built on trust, backed by quality.
All right, welcome back here to hour number 2 on this Thursday morning, as it is still sit and wait time as we all watch the Jordan Seaton saga unfold while Lane Kiffin and his staff are still at work. We are joined by one of our favorites, Glen West from 24/7 Sports, where he covers the Tigers over there. We appreciate him every single time. Good morning, Glenn. Thank you for joining us.
Oh. Do that again.
Good morning, Glenn. Thank you for joining us.
Hey guys, I was about to text you. Somebody was muted there for a few seconds, so I had to kind of guess what y'all are saying.
Yeah, we got it figured out. We appreciate you making some time for us. I know it is a busy time because I thought the transfer portal window closed on Friday, but it seems like this might just be a massive window that we don't really know when the deadline is, right?
Yeah, I mean, guys will continue to trickle in, over the course of Tuesday and Wednesday. I think probably now by Thursday we have a pretty good understanding that it's pretty much closed at this point. But that doesn't mean there might be one or two stragglers. But I think we have an understanding of who's in the portal now, and LSU has done the majority of its work, as has most of college football, with bringing in 40 new guys from the transfer portal. You had 17 via the freshmen and JUCO signees as well, and so you're looking at a pretty massive overhaul for this roster in 2026, but one that I think LSU has done a really nice job of replenishing the talent that it's lost with guys that are going to be able to come in here and impact this team immediately in 2026.
Were you surprised at all by by the overhaul that it was? That they brought in 40+ portal guys and added so much defensively, maybe, along with completely replacing the offensive side?
Yeah, I think probably 40 was going to be at the really high extreme level that I think LSU wanted to bring in, and for me, I think the goal that I had kind of set in mind is if you can land anywhere between 17 and 25 guys that you feel like can come in and impact your team in 2026, then I think that would be a really strong effort from LSU in the transfer portal cycle. And I think that they've done that, and obviously they have more than the 17 to 25. But I think what they're also trying to do here is build up future teams, and trying to kind of build up some depth in some rooms, guys that have multiple years of eligibility that maybe don't have the experience level yet. And so I think that's what you see with some of these players that they brought in to fill out. I don't want to call them depth pieces or guys that aren't going to be able to compete and contribute in 2026, but guys that you have more long-term visions for. But I do think that they have landed really stout players on defense. To bring in several starters, with Prince Will being the most recent one. I'm still getting nervous trying to say that name. I'm sure you guys have had plenty of practice with it. Uman Mielen, I think, is how I'm going with it. But he's somebody that was really impactful and experienced player that they were able to get from Ole Miss this last weekend and get it over the finish line. And then you bring in guys like Ty Benfield, who's going to be probably a starting safety for you. TJ Daugherty, who's going to be a starting linebacker for you. And so they've just done a really nice job, I think, of finding starting level players on the defensive side of the ball. Fahim Deline is another guy that I think can maybe contribute for you in the secondary in 2026, but also has 3 years of eligibility left, so he can be more one of those guys that you are banking on in the future as well. So I think they've found the right mix of those guys on the defensive side of the ball, and they just needed to replenish the entire offense. Though I mean, that work was very you could see that one coming, in terms of just all the guys that they lost and how much needed to be replenished on that side of the ball.
Yeah, no, I don't think many were surprised by the wholesale change, offensive staff and roster-wise, with how last season went. But you bring up, of course, the new addition, Prince Will yesterday, the number one edge in the portal. And to me, felt like he kind of fills a big need for LSU on this defense. You talked about some of the pieces they've added and how good and talented this defense is. But there was still the question mark of, okay, well, who's going to be the guy to go get a quarterback? It feels like they did that with Prince Will, correct?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, he's somebody that had a real breakout season for Ole Miss this last year, 9 sacks, 13 tackles for loss in the SEC, and just diving into some of his games. A lot of those big plays and big moments there happened against SEC caliber teams. It happened in the postseason. I believe he had 3 sacks or 2.5 sacks and 3 tackles for loss in the postseason over the final 3 games of the season for Ole Miss. So they're bringing in a guy that I think has real first round pick kind of potential if he has another similar season to what he had this last year at Ole Miss, and just a real spark that I think this defensive line needed, because I think that they have some real talent up front, with guys that they brought in from the freshman class, guys like Lamar Brown and Richard Anderson, and some of the players that they're bringing in to kind of surround those young players with guys like Jordan Ross and Jalen Brown on the edge. You've got the defensive linemen Cephylon Green and Malik Blockton that they got from Auburn to kind of fill out the interior of the defensive line. But they didn't really have that surefire, this is the guy that can go get the quarterback every single snap and give you great effort there and that. So I think that he's going to complement what LSU wants to do on this defense extremely, extremely well. Just in talking with a couple of the scouts that we have over at 24/7 and CBS, they really liked how Uman Mielen improved as a run defender this last year. They think he's really stepped up in that respect as well, and so he's just kind of the jack of all trades defensive edge rusher that you really need in the SEC, and I think he's going to play a major impact on this team.
And it's funny to see whenever LSU adds another piece, it's like, oh, I wasn't actually considering if they needed that or not, but whenever you get the actual piece, it's like, oh, of course they needed another edge rusher. Like, now that makes all the sense in the world. But I do think people get lost in if the money's right, oh, he's only coming here for money, and if if LSU can pay this and do all that, then he'll be an LSU Tiger. From Uman Mielen's perspective, is it not, maybe it's a great fit and it's a plug and play for LSU, a need, you would say, and then when you look at the scheme that LSU runs and the staff that they have, at some point it does come down to football. And from his perspective, is it not LSU just a better fit for having a dedicated edge coach, having Blake Baker as your defensive coordinator, and then being able to go join your former head coach at a place where it may be set up for me to have success?
No doubt. I mean, I think the Kiffin angle of this can't be ignored. What he's built in terms of culture with his program and with his teams. You've seen them be able to churn out these 1-year rebuilds at Ole Miss for several years now, and the only way that you can do that is if you have a strong foundation and a strong set of, I guess, ideals and philosophies that you follow on a day-to-day basis with the program. And so certainly I think a guy like Uman Mielen, who was in that system, he had a brother who was in that system, of course, who's now in the NFL. And so I think a lot of those dots connected. And then certainly on the defensive side of the ball, LSU wants to play a Havoc-style defense. They want to be able to get pressure on the quarterback and into the backfield, and they do that in a lot of different creative ways with their front seven. And I think he's going to be able to just pin his ears back and be the player that LSU needs him to be this year, which is just a disruptor of backfields. And so I'll be interested to see kind of how he fits in and just the impact that he ultimately does have on this 2026 roster. But on paper, this just makes a ton of sense. A guy that is going to be able to come in and be kind of that star pass rusher that you need to fill out this Blake Baker defense. And I think that's only going to make the jobs around him easier, for guys like Whit Weeks and Ty Benfield is a safety who is really inept at being able to get into the backfield and make plays back there. So it's going to really, I think, having that guy that defenses are going to have to scheme for, it's just going to make things a lot easier for LSU's defense. And you saw it this last year, right? I mean, they brought in 3 guys in Jack Pyburn, Patrick Payton, and Jamari Butler, who maybe didn't finish off plays as consistently as you would have liked to have seen, but they were pretty consistently in the backfield and creating pressures and creating defenses into or opposing offenses into difficult situations. And I think now having a guy like Uman Mielen who can finish those plays, I think is just going to make this defense that much better here in 2026.
And on the flip side, offensively, there's one recruit or portal recruit that everyone's kind of sitting and waiting on. That's Jordan Seaton, as it has been an interesting last couple of days, of course, because he has his visit on Sunday. ends up staying in Baton Rouge on Monday, goes to Atlanta, the plane visits, the whole thing. What has been your take on this recruitment, and where do you currently feel that it sits?
Yeah, it's an interesting one for sure because, if you go back to Monday, it really did feel like a lot of the stars were aligning for LSU to get this over the finish line. And he cancels that visit to Oregon. He stays an extra full day in Baton Rouge when he really wasn't going to, and then when he first arrived to LSU. So getting him there for 2 full days, and from what we understand, had a great visit. And I know a lot of these guys have great visits when they come in, and you're able to show them the ropes around Baton Rouge and everything. But I feel like there was a lot of momentum brewing on Monday and even into Tuesday when he got on the plane and went to Atlanta. But I don't think you can feel as strongly as maybe you did back on Monday, but I still feel like LSU's working really hard to try to get this one over the finish line. Oregon was a team that went and visited him in Atlanta earlier this week as well, as he shared on social media. LSU certainly made all the stops there with Lane Kiffin flying out to Atlanta and trying to get one more face-to-face meeting with Seaton as well. So I think they're still trying here. They're going to do their best, and I think they understand how having a left tackle like that and what that can do for this offense, and solidifying arguably your 2 most important positions on the O-line with center at Braylon Moore and then Seaton at left tackle would do for this offense. But at the end of the day, this is big money football right now, right. And I think that's something that Seaton's weighing, and a lot of teams are still making their push for him. And so you hope we hear something here in the next day or two, but this has always felt like a process that was going to be more extended for him, just as he was evaluating all of his options, and so many different programs coming into the fold, looking to attain his services.
And from your point of view, the effort that we've seen from Kiffin and his staff as well, like we talk about with Seaton, but you go back to Sam Levitt, getting on the plane and flying to Knoxville, now hopping on the plane and getting to Atlanta. That effort and the way he's gone about recruiting during this portal period, to you, how far does that go for the player and like the fan base, especially an LSU fan base that's kind of starving to see that type of effort and work put in?
I think it means a lot. I think LSU is certainly, when they made that move to go get Lane Kiffin, and made a lot of investment in him and a lot of investment in his staff, and now a lot of investment in the roster. As fans and as certainly as donors and as contributors to the program, you want to see that reflected in the kind of players that you're bringing in. And so he talked about earlier this week, as I'm sure you guys have discussed on your show, that this move has forced him to work even harder than maybe he was, in his previous place, and he was working very hard there to build, top transfer portal classes and bring in elite talent there. So he's done a really nice job here of just going that extra mile, and that worked with Sam Levitt. We'll see if it works with Jordan Seaton. I couldn't tell you that answer right now, but they're putting in the effort, and I think that's really important to show here early in his tenure, that this is not going to be a cruise control kind of a job for Lane Kiffin. He's going to do everything he can, because I think he understands that this is a place where that has proven you can win championships with the right coach and with the right mindset and the right players in the building and the right support staff in the building. And I think LSU feels like they're off to a really nice start and getting that going here in 2026.
And are you surprised by maybe the all-in type nature on 26, the lack of the maybe drawing it out a little bit, kind of a rebuild year, get everything right in year one, and then kind of build off that, and instead going all in on a quarterback like Levitt, and then Uman Mielen, and then potentially Seaton, going all in on really trying to win next season?
No, I'm really not, because and this was something that I just kind of thought about, and when they initially made the move to move on from Brian Kelly, you're willing to pay the $54 million buyout to Kelly. You're willing to buy out his staff. You're willing to pay Lane Kiffin $15 million a year. You're willing to pay Charlie Weiss Jr. $2.5 million a year to come be your offensive coordinator. You're dumping all of these resources into making the kind of program changes that you wanted to see. why wouldn't that extend to the roster and going all out for the players that you wanted to bring into this program to kind of get this thing fast-tracked? And I think they've done a really nice job of finding, to your point, the guys like Sam Levitt who maybe have 1 or maybe 2 years in the program that you can go out there and be a star for the program. And then you have those guys that maybe are 2 or 3 year projection kind of guys, and guys that you could see sticking around for a little while longer. And so they found that balance. I think they've struck it really nicely here in the transfer portal cycle. We'll see if they can finish it off with a guy like Seaton, but I think that they are setting themselves up well for 2026 while also understanding that, maybe adding 40 players to the transfer portal next year is not going to be the route they want to take. Maybe they want to cap it at 20 to 25, and you have a lot of player retention in 2027. So they're mapping this out in a very smart way, I think. And now we just got to see what this collection of talent turns into from a team perspective over the next 7 months.
And kind of to your point, because I agree. I mean, they've consistently dumped resources time and time again, money time and time again to make all the right moves. And that's my next question. If it ends, today and say they don't get Seaton, and this is the portal class, and just from today looking backwards, how would you grade the start to the Lane Kiffin era, his first offseason where he gets hired and gets right into high school recruiting, into the staff changes and the portal and all of that? How would you grade out the job he's done up to this point?
I think it's an A. I think you have to give it an A, just on the fact that they brought in all these new players. I mean, you go back to December, right, when there was this couple 24-hour stretch there where you weren't sure if you were going to be able to get Lamar Brown and Richard Anderson and some of those highly touted high school freshmen to sign, and they work really hard. They work late into the nights to get those deals done and get them signed in the freshman class. And so you have a good start there with that nucleus of Louisiana talent and filling it out with some guys you brought in from the Ole Miss class and from other places as well. And so they did a nice job getting that piece of it done in the first week that he was on the job. And then, I think they knocked it out of the park with this transfer portal class. I really do. I think that you've seen them add talent at every position group, sometimes 2, 3, 4, or in the wide receivers case, 9 times over. I mean, they have really replenished a lot of the talent on this roster with guys that they feel like can fit their system, specifically on offense. And even if you don't land a guy like Seaton, this is a coaching staff that has proven no matter any kind of deficiencies they might have or perceived weaknesses going into a season, this offensive staff is not going to be caught off guard by something. I think they're going to be able to scheme around any kind of potential weaknesses that they might have going into this year. And I think that they're going to find ways to still be extremely, extremely successful offensively. And they have a lot of the pieces in place to get that done. And I think now you just got to see what the competition looks like. And I think that's going to be really interesting to watch, especially on the offensive line, because I do think that they have some interesting pieces that they can fit into this mix. And I'm excited to see what that looks like here in spring ball. I really, really am, because even though Sam Levitt's not going to be available for you, you're going to have Longstreet, you're going to have Landon Clark, you're going to have all of your wide receiver weapons. You're going to have all these offensive linemen who are going to be able to come in here and compete and work for playing time. And so I think that that's going to brew a lot of intense workouts and intense meetings here in the next several months. And you let the best man win for the job. But I think that they've done a really nice job of building this class out. At 24/7 Sports, we have, I just have a piece on it coming out here later this morning, but it's the number 1 overall class when you factor in transfer portal and freshmen that we've seen here over the last 5 years. I mean, the numbers are tremendous. And so I think you have to give them an A grade for the job that they've done so far.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And talking about letting the best man win, they've brought in a lot of pieces along that defensive line, at edge rusher, even shoring up the interior of that D-line. But how difficult is it going to be to keep true freshmen Richard Anderson and Lamar Brown off the football field, even with all the experience and guys they've brought in to maybe not put as much pressure on the freshmen? How tough is it going to be to keep those two off the football field early?
I think it's going to benefit Richard Anderson that he's already on campus and he's going to have this spring to really kind of get with this, new staff and, kind of begin his college journey here in the spring. Lamar Brown doesn't enroll until the summer, and so he's going to have to pick things up pretty quickly in the summer and into fall camp. But he's very capable of doing that, and I think he's a very versatile piece that LSU could use on the interior. They could use him as a defensive end type of guy that they can bring off the edge too. And so I think they're immensely talented players. But you still got to get them in the system. That's something else that Lane Kiffin talked about. You got to get them to rewire their thinking and how to approach the everyday life of being a college athlete. And so they're going to get to work here very, very quickly. They're already at work with a guy like Anderson, but I think that this is going to be a really interesting offseason for those two guys in particular because they do have such high expectations. I think with how they're regarded from the outside, but you still gotta come in here and you gotta earn your spot. And I think that those guys understand that. And I think that they're going to have a role on this team. I don't know what that role looks like right now, but I do think that they are going to contribute in year one to this defensive line, which I think is got a lot of talent and a lot of depth and I feel a lot better about where this defensive line is at than maybe I did 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Are you prepared for the intense studying we're all going to have to do when spring football gets here of numbers, names, positions, and the whole deal?
Yes, I'm going to be working that roster sheet that they give us every day for most of spring ball, and we'll see what the
he's probably out there thinking about other girls. I'm thinking about the LSU roster sheet.
The one thing you can say about the previous era was that we had pretty unprecedented access to these practices and everything, and I'm not sure we're going to get that same level here in year one. But whatever we are allowed to do and allowed to watch, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait. I'm ready for baseball season. That's coming up here, starting on Friday with Jay Johnson and the Tigers starting their press conferences and scrimmages this week. But certainly looking forward to spring ball and everything that's going to entail with learning new names, learning new roster numbers, and just seeing who's out there with the ones and the twos. I mean, that's with the new staff change here. I think you have to take all that into account and it means something, or at least at this point in the off season.
Yeah, well, we'll have the Quizlet locked and loaded so we can all study it in the media room. But we appreciate you joining us. What do y'all have going on over at 24/7 coming up?
Yeah, certainly baseball. We'll have lots of baseball talk over there. We'll certainly now that at least the transfer portal has seemingly settled here, and we have what the roster is pretty much going to look like. We'll have analysis, we'll have position breakdowns, we'll have player breakdowns, we'll have all of it over a good 24/7. We're going to probably be entering a little bit of a lighter period here over the next couple months for football, but with the way it's gone here the last 6 weeks, we've still got a lot to chew on and a lot to write about and a lot to talk about. So very, very exciting times, and hope you guys will come join us over there.
Absolutely, and at least LSU baseball got off to a tale as old as time. LSU being delayed by the weather.
Yeah, they're getting off to their that's their kind of MO. So they're getting practice makes perfect, right? So it's going to be another cold one today, from what I understand, and could be rainy and overcast. So got to get those weather delays in during the preseason because they're coming in the regular season, and LSU's proven, at least last year's team proved that they could be a pretty good team when they have a delay.
That's for sure.
Jay Johnson, I'm making the push now. Let's get you a practice facility, a dome.
A dome.
That's interesting.
Retractable roof on the box.
They got a lot of fields back there behind Alex box. They can build something like that if they ever so choose.
If he wants it, he can get it. But, or we go college baseball, first ever retractable roof.
Yeah. That'd be an interesting one. I love the box. Like I love the whole atmosphere, and they probably need some upgrades at this point, but it's still, I think, the best venue in college baseball, especially when it's packed to the brim, like you'll see this year when some really interesting teams come to town.
Well, Glenn, we appreciate you making some time for us. All the insight, of course. We'll make sure everybody goes checks out what y'all got going on over at 24/7. So we appreciate you, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me.
Thank you. There he is, Glen West. Crushes it as always. And the best part about the Glen West interview is what's going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks when we can get into the football, basketball, baseball. Well, yeah. Or we can cover multiple sports in the interview. Because I remember last year, it was one of the first or second times we had him on. And we talked about all three. And he just, I think, blew everybody away.
Yes.
It was like, this might be the smartest guy in Louisiana. And so we appreciate Glenn always making time for us. And
makes us smarter.
Oh, 100%. I mean, that's why you have him on. It's like, you can only listen to us talk about stuff for so much. You got to listen to everybody else. So we appreciate all of you this morning. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll come back. We'll close out the last section of the show here on this Thursday morning right after this.
Why is Hunter Hall a mod? Who did that?
What?
I did that.
You can't let a fox in the hen house.
Oh, no.
There's certain – I mean, look, I love Hunter Hall, but
Hunter Hall?
he's put a gun to his head, he's going to say Roll Tide.
There's more coming.
More mods? More Gumps?
More mods, not more Gumps.
Well, this is okay.
He's a reverse agent spy.
No doubt.
Like, think about it.
A reverse agent spy.
For whom?
He's like a spy where you send him in, but he's really working with them. So you just send him
Double agent.
Yes.
Double agent.
So that's bad for us.
No, that's good for us. Because he's really an LSU fan.
I think he will hop probably. I mean, if there's a time to get off the Gump bandwagon, I don't blame him.
Quit pretending, Hunter.
You're right, and this is the time. Brian Kelly, I get. But now you have your own problems with DeBoer and whatever. Like, Alabama has not been in the news.
Alabama's Jesus isn't even – he's not even loyal to them. He likes LSU.
Yeah, he didn't roll that rock away. He ain't coming back.
Yeah.
So, maybe it's a test case.
Yeah, no, Nick Saban did not resurrect from the dead. That is correct.
No.
If anybody could do it, though.
Yeah, but he ain't coming back. So I guess we'll try.
Yeah, we'll see.
But I don't want it. That bit what's the basketball player's major?
I had no idea that. Charles?
Yeah, Charles. Sir Charles.
Diabaku? I don't
Doctor?
know. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't believe that the paperwork said to finish his education. I was like, I mean, are we serious right now?
Who filled that in? Was it Mad Lib?
He left early.
Well, he didn't get to finish.
He wasn't worried about the education then.
Well, yeah, but he's
worried
now,
about the NBA check.
Now, with perspective of...
Is that the guy who...
You can always get your degree.
Yep.
Yeah, the NBA player that's now playing at Alabama. Did he play last night?
No.
Isn't there a guy who plays at Baylor? Same thing?
Yeah.
Well, not the same thing, because this Alabama one has signed an NBA contract.
Right. But this guy went and played, he got drafted.
Yes, the Bama one didn't get drafted. Baylor did.
Baylor got
drafted. The Bama guy
drafted.
has signed multiple
The
NBA
funny
contracts.
thing is the guy's averaging like 2 points a game in college right now.
Yeah, he's not playing very well.
That's the reason why he's in college.
Yeah, and everybody was like, but didn't he get drafted in like the first round too?
Yeah, oh no, he was the 32nd pick, so
Okay.
early in the second round.
There's always been this conjecture around players like this. Like, people always say, what if LeBron played for Ohio State for a year, you know?
Well, now it can happen.
I guess so. I mean, J.R. Smith
why
is
couldn't
playing golf.
it? Why can't it? Why couldn't LeBron go back right now?
He can.
Can he? Is he allowed?
Why can't he?
He has eligibility.
This guy from Alabama
I guess he did make the jump now.
He's got all the eligibility.
You can't go from,
Wouldn't that be the craziest
you
thing
can't
ever?
leave college.
KD
and
could
then
go back
decide
to
come
Texas.
back.
Who?
KD.
Yeah.
He might. If anybody would actually...
do it.
No, I mean, there's plenty. I mean, if I'm Steph Curry, I mean, why not make one more Davidson run?
Nah,
I think just run that thing
you're
back.
right, Lloyd, I think
Imagine.
you're right. If there's anybody who's like gonna do it,
I mean, he's island hop from team to team, and he's still beloved in Texas.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And he didn't get a natty.
No.
Carmelo could go back to
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Melo can just suit up at Cuse right now with his son
Yeah.
in college. father-son college team.
Yeah, LeBron, cool
It's
story.
Brian,
Watch
Brian,
this.
check this out.
Zion goes back to Duke.
Yeah, Carlos Boozer.
Peaked in college.
That's funny.
I
But we will take a quick break.
I would take Zion.
Their legacy's on the line, though.
Oh, yeah.
For LSU.
Their legacy's on the line.
Well, he'd have to come back
These
and hit
players.
the portal.
That's
What we haven't seen. We haven't seen a player come back to a different team.
We can ask for
They've
a
all
check.
come back to their former college.
I would like to announce, I'm leaving the NBA and hitting the transfer portal.
Yeah, literally.
Antonio Blakeney, one more year.
Well, I love Blakeney, but I don't want to save any points right now. Maybe he would have got us that minus 15.5 the other night.
Yeah, depends on
mean,
what
plus
side he's on.
15.5, yeah.
Just let me know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Shaq, can you still do it, bro?
Chat?
Shaq.
We
Oh, yeah, we talked about that
did
yesterday.
Glad y'all listened.
They did tune in after
Granning III, fondly known by family and friends as Wardo. In 2019, the oldest brother of the tribe passed away unexpectedly. His remaining siblings and loved ones wanted to honor his memory in a special way. In 2022, Ward's family decided to combine the need for a sandwich shop in downtown Natchez with a desire to pay tribute to Ward's love of good friends, good times, and great food. Through blood, sweat, tears, and countless hours of hard work, Wardo's was born. So go visit Wardo's today at 309 North Broadway Street in Natchez, where the po' boys are so good, you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
Hey, Miss Lou, come visit us, Tom and Wright Granding at Go Martin on the Go Deli.
Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need.
Located at the corner of Highland Boulevard and Highway 61 South in Natchez.
Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, where everyone is family.
When it comes to your home, the roof over your head matters. At CAS Roofing, we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's repair, a replacement, or a storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing, it's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing, built on trust, backed by quality.
All right, welcome back here as we close out this Thursday morning show. We have a long list of 2 claps this morning in the document. And it starts off with Prince Will Umanmielen's numbers that Will Rosen on Twitter put out there that I wanted us to take a look at and just really bask in the glory of Lane Kiffin and his staff as they've added a key piece to this roster. We started the show off with it. Obviously, Glen talked about it, but a huge addition in the defensive end room, or I guess edge room, because those are all different things now. I don't know what any of them are. You have an outside linebacker, you got an edge, you got a DN, you got all of it.
I know we talked about Coach Baker earlier, and you mentioned like how much freedom he's going to have. It's going to be crazy. Like just being able to get that pressure and then having your DBs kind of keeping a lot of those DBs that you loved last year,
right,
and then bring in some new ones. It's going to be really fun to watch. Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. And Will Rosenblatt's tweet, you can see pressure rate 98th percentile, 95th percentile in sack rate, pass rush win rate 98th percentile, and pass rush grade 98th percentile. It's pretty good, right?
That would be gifted.
I mean, and it looks like he's pretty good at getting to the quarterback. So, I mean, that's elite stuff, and it's a huge addition for LSU on this defense. And this is since 2023. So this is over the last 2 seasons. Excited to see that happen in the purple and gold, for sure. Go get the quarterback and bring him down. Because they got pressure sometimes last year.
I was going to say that earlier.
They struggled on finishing the sack.
Yeah, a lot of empty sacks.
Yeah. Well, and against a guy like Lenore Sellers, you can understand it a little bit because he's, a monster. But then there's sometimes like, we can't bring down these guys. And they struggled. And so now that you've got Prince Will, you hope you can go get the quarterback and tackle him.
Maybe this will alleviate some of the dual threatness.
I hope so.
Tackle.
2 claps for those 98th percentile numbers. Ready. I want to play this clip again. This is from our show, so we're going to play a clip of our show on our show. Yeah, how about that? It's not us talking, though. It's Rohan Davey talking, because we really didn't get a time to enjoy this comment because we were in the middle of an interview and we're getting to the next questions and all that. But when he told this story / made this comment about Lamar Brown yesterday, it was hard to contain the excitement and continue the interview in a normal manner. Because it was pretty cool to hear, especially from Rohan Davey. And Lamar co-signed it yesterday, reposted the video, which means he really meant it. So here is Ro yesterday talking about the number 1 player in America, LSU signee Lamar Brown.
I told Big Lamar, I say, bro, I saw you in the All-American Bowl. I said, not the games, but the practices. I watched the practices. I said, bro, it looked like you took it a little personal at that game, being surrounded by all them dogs. And, bro, this is what separates kids from men from kids. Yeah. And Big Lamar looked at me with a smile, and he was like, Coach, I did. He said, Coach, I did. He said, being at U-High, we don't play against guys like that. In the class, we don't play against guys like that. He said, so I wanted to see what it was like. I wanted to see if I could do the same thing to them that I do on Friday nights. Right. And I said, how'd you do? He said, I killed them.
You killed them.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you did, bro. And I told him, so I asked him, I said, man, what, I know you're, D-tackle, offensive line. I said, where do you, where you want to play at? What have they been saying? And he was like, man, that's it. We'll just talk to Lane, and wherever he want me to play, I dominate both sides. And I'm like, bro, you know how refreshing that was for me? Right. And not to say, oh, no, I'm going to D-tackle, I don't play that, I'm going somewhere else. Yeah. And I'm like, it's a great attitude to have going in.
I mean, it's hard not to get fired up when you hear that. Obviously, the talent that Lamar Brown has, elite talent, but to hear the mindset is, I'll just talk to Lane wherever they need me.
Wherever you gotta put me, I'm a dominate
both sides.
It's true too.
It is. Mm-hmm. And I'll ask the room, and I'll ask the chat: is it possible?
You don't know my stance on playing.
I know you. No, I know. But it's always been skill guys. You don't ever hear about this.
He's a skill guy.
Well, I know, but you don't ever hear about trenches. Both sides.
Look, my first initial thought is I don't put anything past Lane Kiffin.
Of course
if it's a package in which he comes in as a sixth offensive lineman,
Of
if you
course.
split him out wide, if you do whatever with him, you don't have talent like that and not utilize it.
Of course.
And if it becomes you don't get Jordan Seaton, and there is you start seeing him appear more in terms of Lamar Brown on the offensive side, and that's why you build depth defensively. Is okay, we have a guy that can literally a swing player, but
Right.
from offense to defense. And I know people are going to be like, no, he's going to just do one. And that's the easy way to think. I like to think outside the box. And I would not be surprised. Why not?
Right.
I mean, obviously you have to consider health and all of these
Right.
things that
Right.
happen.
'Cause
But I do think there's going to be 8 to 10 plays that you could see him come
Yeah.
on and be in the offense like, oh, they're like, you may not even notice it
Well, see, because
until you do.
I think it's more so likely the other way, where he's majority of the time on the offensive line. Like if it was to actually happen. Me personally, I don't think you do it. I think that's a lot physically to put on somebody. Because, I mean, it's not just like reps and plays. I mean, you're in the muck of it, right? To me, if it were to work, it would be you're going to play offensive line, but there might be a handful of plays we toss you in
Go
on the
get 'em.
defensive side.
Right.
Go get them.
Well,
right?
at U-High, I attended the Madison Prep U-High game this year. Only one I attended, so I don't know how the rest of the season went.
Right.
But at that game, he played offensive line the whole game, and then on defense,
Spot play.
Yes, in tight situations and important plays late in the game, you'd see Lamar check in.
It's just tough because, I mean, that is the most physical spot in the sport. Like, it's not only are you playing a lot of snaps of, like, just exerting energy. I mean, you are pushing and grabbing and fighting and the whole thing.
I mean,
It's a lot.
It's not
But like you said, like let's just say the Seaton plan goes south. You could I could see, like you said, whether that's playing majority offensive snaps and then coming in on the defensive side, maybe playing majority of defensive snaps and then saying, hey, look, we need this guy to go in and play
Right.
guard or tackle, whatever.
Fullback.
Yeah.
Jack Pyburn.
Well, I do think that
Running
they're
back.
going to be. Yeah, why not? There's going to be times, if this is the case, whether it be in practice, where he's probably going to be on both sides of the ball. You see it, and you go, it just becomes too hard to say no to, where he's going to be that dominant and say, well, put in Brown.
Because I would say they need him more year
Offensively.
one offensive line. But he's so, so it's an interesting conversation.
It could probably be something that just changes year round.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it
mean,
could-
but see, and that's
Well,
the tough part
draft.
with
Yeah.
draft stock.
Yeah.
And, like, I remember Fitzgerald West came in from
Ping
LCA, right? He came in as a D lineman. He played both ways at LCA. But he came in as a defensive lineman. They needed him offensively, so he goes over there. And then they need him back on the D line, so he goes back over there. And it's this revolving door. And then it's just like, well, I and it's tough on a true freshman that's not coming in for spring ball. You've got to learn, and that's why to me, early on, offense focused. And then, because I genuinely, like I said, I don't think it's going to happen. It's too much to ask a human being to do physically. Now, I know he's not a normal human being. He's a monster, but he's still human. If it were to work, it would be, okay, offensively, you need to learn all of these things. Defensively, you just need to know when you go in, this is what you're doing.
Get the quarterback.
And so I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know which side he'll start on. I think the deal maybe has something to do with potentially where he ends up. But we'll see. It's exciting to have that big of a talent on the field. And it was exciting to hear his response to Rowe of, I'm just going to talk to Lena wherever they put me. I'm going to dominate. I was like, okay, perfect. And Rowe said it right, because a lot of times you hear kids no, I'm coming to play that spot. And it's the thing we applaud Jawan Johnson for. He was willing to do whatever for LSU. You need me to play DB? Okay. Oh, now you need a running back. I'll do it.
Oh,
you need a quarterback? Okay, I'll do that too.
Yeah, fine.
And so I don't think it's possible, but it was refreshing to hear the comment. And it's always a fun conversation to have. But Lamar Brown, 2 claps. Ready. D1 baseball preseason All-Americans. There are 2 of them. from LSU's roster. You've got a first-teamer and a second-teamer. Lloyd and I can see the document. I don't know if y'all have seen it, but I'll let y'all guess. Who do you think the two All-Americans are?
Curiel.
Is he first or second?
Curiel's probably first team.
Okay.
And then second team's either.
Don't tell. I want to guess too.
Okay.
It's either in my Case and Evans or Seth.
Okay.
Zach York.
Case and Evans, second teamer. Derek Curiel, first team preseason All-American via D1 baseball. Case and Evans, second team preseason All-American via D1 baseball. Cannot
I guess
wait.
Stephen Milam just doesn't exist.
It really is crazy. Because I saw 11.7, and I like 11.7. They do good content.
They do fun content.
They did like where you spend money at each position, build your infield or whatever. And at shortstop, $5 through $1, there was just these 5 shortstops, and there's no Milam. I was like, well, does that mean I can get
it for
Milam
$0?
for free?
Yeah,
because I'll take that.
No, I can spend my money elsewhere.
Yeah, I can get $0 for the best shortstop in the country. There's a lot of conversation about it's the UCLA shortstop.
He's a beast.
And he is very good.
He's a beast.
It was fun to watch him and Milam last year in the in that College World Series game. We're putting on a clinic.
He's good.
When it started, the beginning of the game before it got rained out, when we were there, because we watched the rest of it at the hotel. That was in the middle of our traveling deal. But
Starlink.
The first, when we were there for the beginning of that game, it was a clinic from those two. And then there's the LeBron guy from Alabama, who's also
Justin LeBron.
Justin LeBron. Great name.
Mm-hmm.
Good name.
No pressure.
Not better than Stephen Milam. So it's crazy to me. The Milam disrespect is unbelievable. He is the best shortstop in the country.
On the best team in the country.
On the best team.
The premier position in baseball. Too short.
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't have the arm.
Okay.
Yeah, watch that.
I get the UCLA
Did you see the last play of the college baseball season?
I mean,
at least second team. Come on.
It's crazy.
LeBron's in college still.
Yeah.
Did Justin LeBron get on?
Oh no, I'll need to check the teams. I just looked at where LSU was.
He was supposed to be drafted last year, right?
Yeah, he didn't leave.
Yeah, because he sucks.
Now he's a top 5.
Oh, nice.
Bad name.
So the Stephen Milam disrespect is unbelievable. Because not only is he outstanding defensively, he's a switch hitter.
Yeah.
That crushes both sides of the plate. It's just, whatever. But I'm excited to watch Stephen Milam and the rest of that team play baseball. That's for sure. Next up on the two claps this morning is LSU sent out a roster yesterday, 2 p.m. It was posted on Twitter, and I thought this one might put a smile on Lloyd's face whenever I saw it. It was B.J. LaFell got an LSU roster. And this is when you start getting the exciting era of LSU football, when you start seeing these guys pop back up. Is that Chad Jones Jr.? Is that B.J. LaFell? This is when it starts to get real exciting, when you start having these.
It's crazy he posted
and he
pictures
posted
of dad.
posted Pops. I mean, of course he did, right?
JoJo.
I mean,
those uniforms hit like crack.
It's the best in the world, especially when it's that player. I mean, when it's a stud in them.
Thank you for your service.
He said, after speaking with Coach McDonald, I'm blessed to receive an offer from LSU. Of course, I mean, he was born with that offer, actually.
And he did the old logo too. Like, this is how I saw Pops play with.
Yeah, that was the logo when I was on the wall.
Mm-hmm. That's so awesome.
But it's just so it's like because it's something you do in your head when they're playing.
Yeah.
Like, when Brandon LaFell Jr. gets here, it's going to be so awesome. And it's like,
yeah,
it's B.J. LaFell. That's what we've been doing for the last 2 weeks, talking about Rome and Jam.
He brought it back.
Mikey and Jared's kids, we've been like, I can't wait.
I'm going to be agent certified by then.
Yeah, I can't wait till they're here. And then, you're seeing it right there, B.J. LaFell. 2 claps. Ready. Next up in the 2 claps.
I love that he doesn't run from it either. He's like in his own profile, like, Dad, B. LaFell. Just if y'all, it is what you think it is.
If y'all didn't know. And then I did see this. I thought this was pretty cool. Google likes to do the different, things where you can do I don't know if you remember
search
Google Gravity, where you could look up Google Gravity and everything would float up to the top of the page. And then if you look up 6'7" on Google, the page shakes like this. Well, now if you type in Kurt Signetti into Google, at the top, it's just an automatic drop down that says yup, comma, he won, period. And I tested it out because I saw the post from Brett McMurphy from On3 on Twitter. So I was like, okay, let me go test this out and see if it works. And because, the quote is, Google me. So when you Google Kurt Signetti, it says, yup, he won.
This is one of the rare times I have to Google google.com like that streamer did. And it does feel, that's not the smartest thing I've ever done. But here I am.
Type in Kurt Signetti and it says... let's see. Let's send it here. Drum roll, please.
Please don't work, honestly. I don't want this to work.
And just Google search or I'm feeling lucky.
Just hit search. Bang at the top.
Okay.
Yep, he won.
Real quick. Does this not feed even more into the fact that they were hacking into the cloud of other teams? This screams that you were cheating if you can hack into Google or have friends at Google.
If you're in with Google, yeah.
Yeah, of course we could get to your cloud and say, oh, screen first play to the house. Here we go, 60 the other way. That's not great for him. Would you not agree?
I don't think this has anything to do with him having friends with Google. This is a Google marketing ploy.
Is he friends with Ellison at all? Larry Ellison, the Michigan donor?
He's an old man.
Well,
so I'm sure
Lane Kiffin just dropped a good tweet.
What happens when you type in Lane Kiffin's name?
He quote tweeted Matt Bowers, who was talking about LSU and Ole Miss fans going at each other. Lane Kiffin says, "It's a sport, guys. Stop attacking each other personally and each other's families. Move on, and both sides just enjoy what they have. Make a grateful list of what you have this morning and focus on that, and not what you don't have. Hashtag let it go."
He is.
Dude, I love
him playing the nice guy card is so funny.
He's the best.
Hashtag let it go. It's so funny.
He really is the parent coming, having to go upstairs and be like, y'all fucking cut it out. All right, I get it. I'm sorry. Look.
And he does.
I'm your stepdad now, but I still am your parent.
But when he leaves, he antagonizes it a little bit more.
Yeah, he's like, I'll shut the door behind me.
Yeah.
Get back to it.
Hashtag let it go.
Let it go.
Your mom told me to come up here.
Your mom told me to come
up here. Y'all need to be a little bit quiet. I really don't care.
Y'all get back to it. Get his ass.
Yeah. Who's starting the prop? All right, get his ass.
Put that cigarette out.
Y'all just be a little quiet.
Yeah, keep it down.
It's a sport, guys.
It's
just a sport, guys.
Don't throw
Hashtag let it go.
Let it go.
Throw away those cans when you're done.
Yeah.
Rat poison.
Don't throw up in the house.
Here, give me the bottle. Come on. There we go. All right.
Make a grateful list of what you have this morning.
Give me that can of Zins.
Yeah. Oh, you're a sixer,
Stop. 6 Billy guy.
You can do it. Then watch out. You get the hiccups.
We appreciate you guys hanging out with us here. Should we 2 clap Google?
No.
We'll go 2 claps for Lane Kiffin for that.
Yeah,
two claps. Ready?
Let it go.
Yeah,
Hashtag let it go. We appreciate you guys hanging out. We're going to go 13 for 13 to close it out here on this beautiful Thursday morning. It's not really beautiful outside. It's a little messy outside.
Yeah, but also, Baton Rouge drivers, just because it's wet doesn't mean the road and your car doesn't work.
Still operates the same way.
Yeah, just be a little bit more mindful.
Of
Don't
course.
let it go.
Don't. Hold on to the wheel.
Hold on.
Actually.
10 and 2.
Yep.
10 and 2.
Yep. Yeah, no, and people do. I mean, they do lose it. It is funny what a little bit of rain will do to people behind the wheel.
So the threshold for driving should be maybe approached.
Oh, it doesn't take much to get that license.
Oh, well, one more, 2 claps.
Oh yeah, 2 claps. Ready.
Brothers back together. Just different.
Hashtag. Yeah, they're gonna be good. They're gonna be good.
Also.
What?
What's tampering?
Nah, I mean,
No.
when we quote tweeted this, Miami fan was like, "Oh, just tampering. You can do whatever you want." I was like,
Yep.
"From a Miami fan?"
Yeah.
Call me when Darian Minshew is your quarterback, and then we'll talk about that.
That's insane.
How did that happen?
We're gonna miss on Ty Simpson. Let's go get somebody else. That was
Right.
right. And I feel bad for Minshew. I feel like he's been caught up in this. Like,
I mean, it's a tough spot to be in as the player.
It's getting sued now.
Like, I mean,
right? Like, what did I mean, he was perfectly happy at Tulane, but then Duke comes calling. It's like that's a big number,
right? And then Miami comes calling with a bigger number.
And I guess I'll do this.
Like, what
they were just in the national.
Because I don't think he's not. It's one of the rare cases where he's not.
No, he's not searching for this.
He's being sought after.
They keep bringing him checks.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what am I supposed to do? I can't say no to that.
He's very good.
He is good.
I'm going to stay at Duke.
Yeah, I don't want to be like this is boring as hell.
Even though Duke won the ACC.
And got nothing for it.
That is crazy.
Let's connect athletically.
Let's connect. Getting ready for Seth Dardar interview coming soon.
Oh,
Round
yeah, we have to
2.
run it back.
We got to run it back.
When is Canada Day?
That was like in the summer.
I know. Maybe that's what We'll do whenever
when
it is
Canada
that day. We'll
back,
call him.
He'll be there then.
We'll give him the mission. Start studying up.
What do we have here?
Mike Tomlin.
There you go.
Madden.
I love when we just start saying things.
Peyton, Madden, Tomlin, and Shula.
These are all old ESPN shows.
Stump the Schwab.
Those are all great. That's on the if you could around
Go
the horn.
Getter, Spark Plug, Fireball, Dynamo.
I think I'm only old enough for Around the Horn.
Oh, yeah, well, interestingly enough, Playmakers was far too real. It was an ESPN production. It was their foray into like HBO type deal. It was unedited, uncensored, like a real TV show. It was TV mature, and they were trying to cover what the NFL is like.
That I have seen like videos on that.
Yeah, you won't find it because they scrubbed it. You have to go to like the recesses of the internet or buy the DVD box set to be able to watch it because
Can you find it on
the
YouTube?
The NFL called. You can find like a couple of them. The NFL called ESPN is like, this is way too close to what's actually going on in the NFL with like steroid use, drug use, spousal abuse, philandering, and
You're not supposed to uncover these things.
right.
Don't
Like this
set
is
off any
like this is
alarms.
how'd y'all know about all this? Like,
Yeah.
well, we talked to NFL players. Like,
Playmakers.
yeah, so they canceled it, but it was awesome.
Is it Tomlin, Peyton, Madden, and Shula?
What would this be?
Yeah, but like, why is Joe Buck just sitting there?
I have no idea, but I mean, there's no
No,
way
I
these
know.
four don't go
No, I
together,
know.
right?
What is the next four?
I have no idea what those are going to be.
Tony Hawk.
Oh, the Hawks, the Clippers, the Bucks, and the Nets.
Nice.
Oh.
Head coaches who won a Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, that was definitely true.
Hell yeah. Sean's on there.
He
Nice.
might be on there again.
You might, yeah, you might.
Might be two. Crazy.
Steady.
Are you gonna? Yeah, I know the Stidham.
Am I
thing,
rooting
so-
for him?
Would-
Absolutely.
no, like, would you root for him to win the whole thing?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
It's
Not-
not.
I think it's funny when people.
I'm not mad at
wouldn't-
him in that situation.
No,
I don't blame him.
It's not his fault.
Bro, when I saw Adam Troutman on the Broncos late in that game, I was like, "You've got to be fucking."
How about the
Adam Troutman?
how about the refs helping Sean Payton win a playoff game?
That was what I said. I was like, "Oh my god, now they're getting fucking calls." Dude, when I saw the pass interference, oh my god. Dude, I went on Twitter. I was about to tweet it. I'm like, "Oh my god, 8 accounts have already tweeted the same shit."
It was, dude. It was infuriating.
That was
think
frustrating.
I got back to 2018 like that. I was like,
Do you think they gave the got you? Like, sorry, it took a minute.
Well, how'd you feel
Well,
when
and it's
five?
almost like-
How'd you feel 5 minutes later? Rashid Shaheed takes it to the crib.
God,
Yeah.
That wasn't as bad because she
What if he was
in
a
dead
Bronco
era,
and did it?
Yeah.
Bro, but when I saw like Sean calling up these passes just to like throw it up, almost baiting that call out, I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like this is just like this has gone full circle. This is
What do you think he felt like?
Sean, he was happy. He was
Well,
like,
I know, but I'm saying like even in that moment where he's like, "Oh God, last time I dialed up a deep ball."
you know, he felt a little bit bad inside. Like, damn, like
I wish I'd have gotten
doing
that.
this
I'm
with
sure.
the Broncos
I like
right
the-
now. with
No,
the
he doesn't feel
Broncos.
a competitor.
I like the way he called him Stiddy, though. He was like, "Yeah, we got Stiddy. Stiddy's ready to go." You know, if he would have said, "Stidham,"
oh, we've got Jarrett ready to
Jarrett's,
go.
Jarrett's,
Is
he
it
feels a little
Jared?
confident.
Jarrett?
Dude, he loves his.
I know. I'm saying. I know a coach that would be like,
Jerry?
"What's your number?"
Stiddy.
Yeah,
Steady.
Yeah, my God, steady.
He loves his Auburn quarterbacks because Jared Stidham was.
He was.
Wow.
Yeah. It was.
No, Jared Seaton was still in the league.
We're still on.
PSA.
Vest. That is a great vest.
Saturday.
Shador.
Shador, get up.
Sit down, Shador. I got to go to my dermatologist appointment, actually.
That's about time. You've been looking a mess.
You can't curse on the radio.
Oh, you can't on YouTube.
You can't on YouTube. Charles, how are we doing?
We're doing good. How about y'all?
We're doing well.
Good.
Doing well. We appreciate you popping in.
Yep.
The vest is excellent.
Thank you.
It's a great vest.
It's a Christmas present. Hope I don't get beat up today. I know I was getting beat up last time.
Well, you're a game late.
I am a game late. I was late the other day. I had meetings, and so I couldn't get in. Let's talk about that Missouri win.
That
was fun.
That was great. It was It was great to see the PMAC. The fans answered. They got beat by Florida, but I got to be honest with you, Florida's really good.
Oh, and they're playing very good basketball.
I think they got the number one defense and offense in the SEC. I mean, look, that's a good team. It was good to see DJ back.
Yeah, a little rusty.
A little rusty, but you expect it. I mean, the kid can't. I guess he could shoot, but if he's not running and so
we're not practicing with the team. You could tell. Like that was my biggest takeaway. Like you get excited when he's announced to come back. Game time decision, can play. Looked fully, I would say fully healthy, but you can see that they haven't played together in a month.
Correct. It was definitely obvious.
Yeah. Right.
But they say he looks good. They were questioning some of the cuts he made during that Florida game, but they said he handled it very well. Yeah. And so I went to the Matt McMahon show last night at TJ Ribs. He's in good spirits. Look, like I said before, there's a lot of basketball that needs to be played.
Yeah.
It's a tough schedule. He's going to, hopefully he can maybe beat Arkansas. I mean, Arkansas's up and down.
Yeah.
I think you got a chance.
Very talented roster.
Yep.
But they're up and down on the execution front. So, I mean, and they're coming off of a win over Vanderbilt.
Right.
Which is a good win for them. And, you might be able to catch them.
Boston College won last night.
Right.
So that helps us out a little bit.
Kentucky continues to win.
Kentucky continues to win. You play Kentucky tough, and so we don't have to face Florida again, thank goodness.
Well, we got an upset.
I saw North Carolina State.
Go to your appointment.
As he walks out the door. Yes. Well, Wade did beat Clemson, which was a good win for him in overtime. And so, it's the mysterious thing that everybody's talking about. What is LSU going to do? You're not going to do anything right now. You got to play a season. You got to get more. Yeah, you got to get more into it and see. Like I said, I talked to Matt McMahon last night. I talked to Jalen Courtney last night. They seem to be upbeat. You're getting DJ back, which is huge.
Right.
Let's see what happens. I think Saturday's going to be a big test. It's hard to go on the road if they play the game. I mean, it's talking about snowing and they might have
storm of the century.
They might have to spend the night Saturday night, or they could just fly back. I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and stay the night and see what Sunday looks like.
Fly over.
Yeah. Ain't no sense of trying to put us all in the
in the air.
Yeah, during a snowstorm.
Let's do the most dangerous thing possible.
Correct. And it's charters. I don't know how much experience those guys have flying in snow. I mean, so I'm gonna back off that.
The brakes.
Yeah, I'm gonna pump the brakes on that.
When I think of LSU basketball and flying, the first thing I think of is the charter pilot that couldn't keep it on the runway for takeoff.
Yes, remember that.
So I don't want you to actually in the air.
Correct. Correct. I think was it several years ago. I don't know if it was McMahon or Will when the plane was taxing to the takeoff, and he
that's what I'm talking about. When he just went
and he sunk it.
And then, he's like, can you keep it on the concrete?
Hey, bud, this is you should driving. I mean, and look, I don't know. I don't know if anybody understands that a plane you use your feet, right, left. There's no steering wheel on it, on the ground, and so like, could you stay between the lines on the concrete, at least? Yeah. Hey, move over, put the co-pilot in, let him take a shot.
Swap.
Yeah. I mean, football. Look, LSU's living good times, man. Football looks really, really like number one portal class.
Right.
I think he had 39.
40.
So yeah, 39.
And that's the tough part with men's basketball right now is it's just there is so much exciting going around, and when you're even when you're playing hard and because they are, I think Lloyd said it best after we went to the Missouri game was he saw the emphasis there, that they were motivated, they're flying around, the energy they had. It wasn't like they've just thrown in the towel and they've rolled over from a player or a staff perspective. So you have all those things, you're just not winning. And so the excitement's not there.
Right.
And so it almost gets, to me, exacerbated when everything else is going well, women's basketball, baseball, gymnastics, football doing well, and it's just like, okay, there's one thing that's left behind.
Right.
And they're just, what are they? They're
It's
1
tough.
1 and 5 right now?
1 and 5 in the conference. And it is tough. I was talking to him last night, and I said, guys, everybody, look, for the first time in probably 4 years, I went to a famous website of LSU. and I mean, like, the comments on it, like, Matt McMahon is a college basketball terrorist. Like, really? Matt McMahon is horrible for the LSU brand. Really? Like, come on, man. I some of those people, and I know I'm going to take it on this one, and I really don't care, because the people, I said this last time, people who sit on those blogs and just throw stuff up need to get a life. Like, if you think Matt McMahon, the coaching staff, and the kids don't want to win, you're an idiot. And if you're so good and you can make such a bold prediction, you come coach a team.
Yep.
Let's see what you do. I mean, you coach basketball. You coach high school basketball. It's not the easiest thing.
Mm-mm.
You're putting your career on a bunch of kids.
Right.
Or young men. And so, look, I get people have their opinions. I think when you start attacking people personally, it's out of control.
I agree.
And so, look, like I said last time, they hated Ed Ogeron when he was here and he was losing. Lane Kiffin comes back. We want to hire Ed Ogeron back. You just hated him. You got rid of him 4 years ago. What is the deal here? And so, let's say that the season is like everybody thinks it's going to be, and they're going to get rid of Matt McMahon. Who do you go get?
Right.
Who do you go get?
What does this job attract?
Nothing.
Right. As of right now, with the facilities and the buy-in from the fan base, right? The whole thing, there's not
it's
that
stacked
much
against you.
Right.
It's stacked against you. You can go get another mid-major guy. Great. Okay, now what? You're back in the same position.
Right.
Whether anybody believes it and anybody disagrees, Matt McMahon can coach a basketball team.
Right.
He is a great X's and O's guy. And here we go. I know. Go ahead, Lloyd. Read him to me. This guy's stupid. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Sunshine pumper.
Yeah, no, I'm not pumping sunshine. Listen, I can have some really tough conversations with Matt McMahon and the coaching staff. Look,
don't piss on me and call it rain.
Correct.
Right.
But I do think it's unfair at this point because, like I said, I did see it. I saw the effort. I saw what they've put into it, and it's not just we're mailing. And I think a lot of people, because of what maybe you saw with like the Brian Kelly era and that Orgeron era, like the way that it ended, where it's like I don't even know if they care. This is not the case. Where he definitely is trying to win, and obviously I know he wasn't born on Sunday or born yesterday.
Right.
Or it's like he's very much aware of what's going on around him and that he is coaching for his job, but I don't think that's ever changed where he came into a situation where he knew he's going to have to win people over.
If you're coaching for your job, what do you do different that he's not doing? Like,
you're always coaching for your job.
Yeah, like I said last time, somebody, I think it was Rich Beam on a documentary said the day he got hired, it's the one day closer to being fired.
Right.
And so, look, he's definitely coach. Look, he wants to win. Like I said, and I know I'm gonna get the sunshine pumper, but look, I love LSU's athletics. Period.
Yeah.
I got season ticket holders, gymnastics, baseball, football, basketball, women's basketball,
volleyball.
Baseball. No, I don't go to volleyball. Sorry, I've been to volleyball. Don't get me wrong, very exciting sport. I don't have season tickets to that, but I mean, look, come on. It's the fan. If I'm a head coach at LSU and I'm trying to keep the fan base happy, you're fighting a losing battle because they'll never be happy. But I just don't, like I said, I don't like the personal attacks against him. Literally, for the first time I saw those two, and then I thought, some of the posts, if we get rid of Matt McMahon, who are we coming and don't bring up Will Wade? And I'm like, okay, so
let's have that conversation.
Throw the names out there.
Right.
I mean, throw them out there because you said it. Facilities for men's basketball, support by the fan base, support from dollar amounts and NIL. It's not the best.
Yeah.
It's not the best, and so it's a hard job.
It is. Well, and that because that's the realm you operate in. I mean, where was Will at before he got to LSU? You didn't take him from Duke.
No.
You didn't snag him from Kentucky. I mean, that's just not the world that LSU basketball lives in. You take your shot on the up-and-comer from a mid-major, and you see if it works out.
Right.
And with Will, his personality, it worked out. And also, when Matt got here, the sport changed, and it's taken some time to adapt, but it is tough, when the wins aren't coming, it's tough. And he's got a lot stacked against him, and I talked about it before the Florida game. I was excited to see when DJ got back, right? And now, obviously you saw him on Tuesday, and you hope when you see this weekend that he's a little bit more in the flow of things, and everyone can kind of settle back in,
right.
To see, now let's see what it looks like,
right.
Because there is a lot of basketball left, and you're not in an impossible spot, but it is tough, right? When you're sitting at 1-5 and you need 9 wins, like you've got, what is that? You got 12 games left.
Yeah.
It's a tough spot to be in, and they're going to have to go on a run.
And look, I don't think I'm not naive to the situation. He is coaching for his job.
Yeah.
What do you do? I mean, like I said, here's the thing: it's going to cost you money to get rid of him. Okay, it's gonna. Let's just say let's play completely. Let's throw it all out there. You go get Will. You got to pay him. You got to pay North Carolina $3 million after April 1st.
Yep.
So now you got to pay Matt McMahon. You got to pay Will Wade, if that's who you get, or whoever you go get. You're going to have a buyout. That's just buyouts. And then you got to put money back into the program. And
you got to write their contract, pay them their money, and you've got to.
No matter what happens, you're going to be starting from square one.
Correct.
So
that's what the fan base better be careful of.
Right.
That's what the fan base better be careful of. Be careful what you wish for, because it ain't always. What's the old adage? The grass isn't always greener on the other side. That Matt McMahon can coach. Look, I think this team is much better than last year, considering you spent what you spent. And yes, college athletics, not just men's basketball, across the board has changed. It's out of control. Look, I know LSU brand means a lot, but how many kids are really coming to LSU for LSU? I think they come in for exposure and money. And then when that doesn't work out for them, I'm going to the next school and the next school and the next school. Who's the quarterback that's, I think, on his 6th or 7th school? TJ Finley?
TJ Finley.
Yeah, 6th or 7th school.
Right.
Bro, give it up. Give it up.
Well, you say that, but if somebody's going to pay me to do a job and I can...
No, I agree, but why is he not giving it up?
Right.
It's about dollars and cents.
I can keep throwing this football around. Shit, it's better than going to, like I said, Amazon's always going to be there.
Exactly.
But right now I get to play football, so I'm going to play football.
No doubt. And I'm going to make more playing football than I am going to be at Amazon.
Right.
Yeah.
6 figures. There was an interview with him where he was like, look, you don't understand. I'm not going out there and looking for jobs. They're coming to me. I would be a fool to say no.
Yeah, if somebody came to you, Lloyd, and said, hey, I want you to do the same thing you're doing, and I'm going to pay you quadruple what you're getting paid now.
And you're not very good at it. Oh, that's fine.
Well, I didn't say that. You said that. I think you're good at your job. But,
thank you.
It's just obvious. And so athletics has definitely changed. Look, you've seen some coaches get out. Nick Saban. Why did Nick Saban quit? He doesn't like the NIL game. He's come out since he's left and said this is out of control. It's broke. You need to fix it. A person like Lane Kiffin has embraced it. And look, let's be honest. The reason why Lane Kiffin's successful is because he has the money to spend.
Right.
LSU gave him the money to spend. Give LSU basketball $13 million and watch what happens with Matt McMahon or anybody, or Will Wade or whoever.
Whatever coach.
Choose your poison.
Right.
You just need
it's the resources.
Exactly.
And coaching does matter, right? I mean, you want to have a good coach for those things, but to be ultimately competitive, you got to have the horses, and to get those, you have to have resources.
Right.
When we talk about how successful Kiffin's offseason has been, well, it's because you're able to get his staff from Ole Miss. Then you're able to retain Blake Baker. You were able to finish the high school recruiting class, then put together this portal class. Well, guess what all 4 of those things take?
Money.
A whole lot of money.
A whole lot.
Right.
And I can't wait to see what this figure is going to come down for basketball, what the final figure is going to be.
Right.
Just on the NIL side of it.
Yeah.
And look, that's what we live in. Not mad about it. It's what we live in. But, and look, I feel bad for women's basketball because I know she needs more money.
Right.
And I didn't see Joe. I know Joe was on the show.
Yeah.
I didn't see him. I don't know if y'all talked about it. I know they need more money. And it's a shame because everybody is – you only have a pie that's only so big, and everybody wants a chunk of it, and it's not. It truly isn't fair. I think if you could close the portal to where people can't jump every year, I think it would help. We'll see.
Well, and because that was the, when you look at McMahon, the easiest person to compare him to would be Golden at Florida because they were up in the same offseason, took their jobs the same year, right? And I talked about it with this past offseason where, when Florida found the success was, Walter Clayton committed there 23, stayed for 2 years, right? And it wasn't just a 1 year revolving door all the time. And so that's the tough part is every year up to this point for McMahon, besides from 22 to 23, it was a revolving door.
But why was it a revolving door? Because he didn't have the money to keep the players. Right. And he didn't have the money to go get the elite players.
Right.
And so finally he gets some money, and now he has a few. Look, whether you believe it or not, DJ Thomas is an elite player.
Oh, yeah.
He's an elite player. And you can tell without him on the floor, it changes the dynamics of the team, puts stress on other players. They feel like they have to do more. And like I said, look, football's the same way.
Yeah.
40 portal kids. Well, why did he have? Because they all left. Because they all want to go see, not saying they would play it or not, but I want to go basically test the free agent market. Let me see what I'm going to get. And at some point, I believe, I don't know if Congress has to step in or the NCAA somebody has to put some parameters on this thing to keep it, because this is just...
That's what we were talking about today. What do you have?
It's like drunk driving. You're just going everywhere.
Right, and then when's prohibition going to happen?
Exactly.
But that's where you are right now, because it feels like a little bit like for finance, it's like this is a bubble market right now, and the players understand that, or they're getting people that are telling them that this is what you should do, because what was 4 years ago where you're saying $1 million for a player, and now you have a left tackle that isn't even enrolled in any school when school's supposed to start, like that's supposed to matter.
Right.
But now we can just wait and see who's going to be the highest bidder. Now it was $1 million 3 years ago. He can command $6 million because guess what? The market dictates it. Somebody's going to pay it.
Right. Somebody needs him.
Right.
Needs that kid.
I need your services.
And now we're gonna. It's the craziest thing. And it's just like I said. There's some things that people don't talk about as far as players, transfer portal. Like at what point? Like these coaches, Lane Kiffin, Jay Johnson, not only am I supposed to put a winning team on the field and spend all this money, I got to graduate these kids. Hey, guess what? Education is supposed to be first.
Right.
It's not. Now it's money. And then education falls to, I guess, second or third maybe. You want to get to the league, whether it be the Major League, MLB, NBA, NFL. And what about my education?
Yep.
And I think the education gets discounted drastically.
Well, and because I thought it was funny. I don't know if you've seen the story with the Alabama player that he was at Alabama. He played there 2 years, and then he goes to the draft. He doesn't get drafted, but he gets in the NBA, does the whole G League thing. He played in a G League game on Saturday.
Now he's back.
And now he's back at Alabama. He sued the whole thing, and in one of the reports, it was like the reason they were suing because they're stopping him from being able to complete his education at Alabama.
Yeah, that's what they're going to use. And the truth of the matter is, he just wants. I guarantee he's making more money in Alabama than he was in the G League.
Right.
And so what are we doing? I guess the hypocrisy to me is the NCAA. Man, we want you to graduate. We're student athletes. But yet, here's all this money we got to give you, and
right.
and you're entitled to. And look, I think kids should be paid. Don't get me wrong. The universities make a lot of money off of them. I just think it's out of control as far as the dollar amounts. Like Lloyd said, it's the market's dictating.
Right.
And then what other people are not talking about is the X factor in all of this is you have all these kids, whether it be basketball, baseball, football, and they're making all this money. Who's in their ear?
Mm-hmm.
Agents now.
Right.
The agents. They're in their ear going, hey, man, this ain't
portal.
For you. This ain't for you. Hit the portal. I'll get you more money. They want them to jump because that's how they make their living. And so, look, I can get you more money here and more money there. Hello, it's a flawed system.
And
bad.
Does the NCAA have any requirements or on who can be an agent, or is this just a free for all?
It's a free for all.
I don't think you have to be licensed to
Right.
rep a college athlete. I don't think.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. And then I don't think because you're not licensed.
There's no player. It's no NFLPA. There's nothing to license with.
I don't think you are restricted to the percentage you can
Right.
take.
No, that some people have gotten
And
hoodwinked.
so I'm gonna take 20%.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds great. So wait, I'm making $2 million. You're gonna take $400,000. Oh, I'm still making $1.6 million. Hey, bud, you still got to pay taxes on all of this money.
And I know a guy that can do that for you. So then back in your pocket.
That'll
Correct.
be another $1 million.
And then, oh, by the way, I'm fronting you a car, or I'm fronting you because look, we're gonna get you to the league. Well, okay, but if I get hurt, what are you going to do for me?
Right.
You're going to move on to the next player.
one, yeah.
And so that's the X factor that nobody talks about.
right?
And so it's just the players' money. And literally, I've heard it before, like, man, what's wrong with that player? Well, his agent's in his ear saying, hey, man, I can get you more elsewhere. And it's like, enough.
You're right.
Enough.
At some point, you throw your hands up. But that's the world in which you live in, and LSU is very much, they tried to avoid it. But you have to be a player in the game if you want to be a player in the game. And
if you want to continue the status that LSU has, you have to play.
This is what you have to do.
And look, I don't fault LSU. I don't fault the NIL world. I do fault whoever put this in place. This lawsuit that was filed in California for rev share and all of this.
Right.
I mean, what idiot thought this is a great idea? Let's push this through and not put parameters on it. It's
No, I mean, I remember whenever it was first happening, we were like, well, they're trying to build the plane while they're flying it.
correct.
As of right now, I mean,
they're still doing it.
They're still doing
the only
that.
thing you got on is engines, and I don't even know if the wings work. I got to be honest
And
with
then
you.
you have people in there that's, I'll pull the string right now and blow this old motherfucker up. You're like, okay, we're still flying.
Hold on. And when do we refuel this? I mean, like,
I don't know about any of that.
Yeah.
We're still up in the air, though.
The gauges don't even work. The gauges don't even work. Let's just keep going. It's the craziest thing.
is.
I mean, it's. If you would have asked me, and I've been around athletics for a long time, if you'd have asked me 3 or 4 years ago, 5 years ago, did I see this coming? No. I don't think anybody could have. I mean, you could listen. You'll have people. Oh, I saw this coming a long time ago. Oh, yeah. You didn't think it was going to be this bad.
No, but it makes all the sense in the world once you opened up the floodgates,
Right.
because there's nothing legally that you can do about it. Because it's a free market. This is capitalism, right, as it were. And if somebody wants to pay this amount, and it's an untapped market of, if you're willing to spend, or I'm worth this much because you say I am. And legally, there's not a law in the world or in America
right now
that dictates that. Oh no, you can't do that. It's like
Right.
this is you're paid what people value you as, which is the way that it
Supply
should
demand.
work.
Yeah.
But some people are getting overpaid, and then this is how at some point there will be a recession around this.
Well,
but there's so much money to be made and so much around it. But the people that have it all, in terms of the schools and the conferences, are like, well, don't touch too much of it.
Right,
That's
right,
where you
yeah,
are.
Yeah, well, listen, it is what it is. In order to compete, I have to spend it. But maybe y'all can tell me this: what does a backup quarterback in the NFL make?
I mean, let's see.
It depends on which one you got.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, like Tyler Shuck's backup. I don't even know who. it is.
Spencer Rattler. I mean,
What is he
he's
making?
probably still in his rookie contract.
Yeah.
What do you think Jameis Winston makes? Like
Let's see.
Couple million?
Backup NFL quarterback contracts.
a few million?
Because I want to see the difference between a backup NFL quarterback and a starting college quarterback contract.
Like Gardner Minshew makes 1.2 a year. Jacoby Brissett in with the Cardinals,
Who played all
who
the
ended
year.
up becoming the starter, was 12.5 over 2, so that's about 6.
That's about where you are.
So I mean, yeah.
So,
I mean, it's,
who did you say? Who was the?
or
first
we'll
one?
say this: Jared Stidham is the highest paid veteran backup at $6 million a year.
And that's what starting quarterbacks in college are making.
Ty
right now.
Simpson was offered $6 million to go to
6.5 to go to Miami.
to go to Miami.
I turned it down.
And turned it down.
And that's
Because he's
that's
scared.
more than a rookie contract.
I don't want to go to the NFL. Why do I want to go to the NFL?
He's the one that said I do.
Yeah, I know, but you're an idiot.
That's what
You're an idiot.
It's dumb.
Look at the dollars. This is on paper, man. Look, you can make $6 million at Miami, and you can go be a backup and make $1 million. I'm not a mathematical genius, but 6 is more than 1.
All it tells me is I don't want to put any more tape out there of myself. and I'm gonna ride this wave into being a
For
career
4
backup.
years, maybe 5, maybe 6, depending on.
But if I go and play and then go and get into that next quarterback draft where it has the Arch Mannings, the Sam Levins, Lenora Sellers,
not going to be in the same.
It's like, I might not get drafted.
Because
at all.
he would be the third quarterback off the board if Moore was leaving. So now he might bump up to second. But like Tyler Shuck was a third quarterback drafted, second round, 40th pick, 4 years, fully guaranteed, $10.8 million.
Total contract.
Total contract. 10.8 over 4 years.
A little over 2.5, a little less than $3 million a year. And
what's Levin at LSU?
And he's
5.5?
$5 million. I mean, it's crazy. Like, people don't like. You're not comparing. I get you're not comparing apples to oranges, but the NFL teams are making more than college teams.
But
than the universities are.
But it's so much.
So like, you got to look at that and go, okay, this is flawed. This is way flawed. Like, bro, like, stop. And that's football.
Yeah.
And you can do it across the board with sports in general.
And the thing is these guys can just not turn out.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? These guys can just end up not being worth $5.5 million at all, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
Where in the NFL, you can kind of just get rid of a contract or cut a player.
But it's still, if it's guaranteed, like Brandon Ayuk just quit.
Yeah.
He just quit on the team, but that money's guaranteed. And
So
Shanahan, for his life, is like, I don't know what he's doing. He's like, I do. You gave him a fully guaranteed contract. I don't have to come to work.
Sitting at home playing Xbox and getting paid. Yeah. I mean,
There's another $1 million.
Yeah. Hey, stock's up today. I just made some more money.
I wake up at 1 p.m. I made my money.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said.
Because I'm all for the athletes making the money, right? Because, I mean, there was for a long time, the NCAA was benefiting off of their name, image, and likeness and being able to make money off of a sport. Because when I turn on the TV, right, to watch a game, and that's where the TV ad revenue and all that, I'm turning it on to watch Sam Levitt play, right? I'm turning on to watch Jaden Daniels play. So that they should be rewarded, but there do need to be guardrails on the.
Yeah, it's just a matter of. I mean, I hate to say this, like a salary cap. You need to make it like a salary cap. And
right.
Go, look, I mean, baseball does it, slot money on a draft.
Right.
This is how you're gonna, and so you need to kind of do that because that's what this has turned into now.
They're doing it themselves.
Yeah, and this has turned into the minor leagues of football.
Right.
When you talk football. And the NBA is going to have to step in. Look, I got kids that don't want to come to the G League because they're making less in the G League, and then they quit the G League and they go right back to college to make more money.
Right.
I mean, I got to be. Somebody's got to be sitting there going, okay, how do we fix this? You would think.
I honestly think they enjoy it because it's that. Look how much we're still talking about college football, and it's not just LSU around the country; it's every school around the country going. Oh, college football is the number 2 thing talked about during the NFL playoffs. There's not a lick of sense of talking about the NBA right now. It's all transfer portal and the money, and they're going back. Still talking about us, huh?
I think the first thing I've seen about the
Mr.
NBA
Smithers.
so far this year is that LeBron is not a starter in the All-Star game.
Right. I don't even know when the All-Star game is.
Boo-hoo.
Because
Dude's been in the league for, 40 years? I mean, enough. Bro, you've made your money. Move on.
But he doesn't
Move
have
on.
to.
I get it, but listen, can I ask you a question? I don't know what they're paying him. Is that really, benefiting him? I'm like, he's got way more money and way more investments.
Well, I mean,
for the love of the sport.
My biggest thing is like with
He runs the league.
These G League guys going back to college. Like, if I'm in college, why am I recruiting a high school player?
Yeah,
that's where for me as a high school basketball coach, like it's even football too. Like, it sucks to see talented players not get the same opportunity because there's a trickle down, right? If the top schools can go get professional players to come back, well, then the guys they would normally go get end up at this level, who those guys end up here, and here. And so then the high school kids, they're not going to get the looks.
And I think college basketball's like, there's more issues with that in college basketball just because, I mean, how often do you see a good team that has, just a bunch of freshmen? Or a team that goes and wins a national championship. You never really see that.
Right.
You see a bunch of guys that have 5th-year, 6th-year guys, seniors that have been with the program or been in college basketball in general that just know how it works, and that's why it kind of.
And there's a benefit to it because some of these guys that end up at smaller schools should get the opportunity to play up a level, right? But you shouldn't have a guy sent off to the draft and then come back.
I agree.
I
agree. I mean, look at. Let me think of this. Hold on. in football, it happened where who's the quarterback? I know it's a brain fart. Indiana's quarterback, Mendoza. He played at a little small school. He gets brought up to Indiana, and he's lights out. But that's what's going to have to happen now. The days of Power 5 school, college basketball schools recruiting high school kids is gone. Because I gotta win. For you to hit I gotta win today.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I can't develop you.
I can't develop you. I gotta get you somewhere else to go get developed.
Go play.
And then see what you do, and then hope that I can bring you from a smaller school into a Power 5 school.
Other than the top 10, top 5 guys in the country, it just
and
like,
I also
it doesn't
can't.
make
I
sense.
also can't develop you for 3 years.
No,
because it's not promised you're going to be here.
You might not be here after a year. If you don't, listen, if you don't like the way I coach, or you don't like the players you're playing with, I'm leaving. I don't.
Or it doesn't even have to be that. You could love where you are, and then you have the agent, whatever. It's like, or you can go to Gonzaga for $5 million, or you can sit here for $2 million. And it's like, well, I'll just go play somewhere else.
I'll go play at Gonzaga, and well, you might not play, but I'm still getting paid $5 million.
Right.
You know, I think I remember when Nick Saban first got hired at LSU. I went to a function where he was speaking at. And he said this, and it's really resonated with me over the years, and especially now. Kids today, well, back then, he said, you're in the era of video games where I can just hit a reset button. Mm-hmm. And that's what's happening now, right now. Mm-hmm. If I don't like where I'm playing, or I'm not making enough money, or I don't like there's so many factors, I just hit the reset button and go somewhere else. Is that I mean, is that fun? Is that college athletics?
No, it's not college athletics at all.
It's just a video game.
But but the thing is, and that's what LSU needs to, especially on the basketball side, is it's not going to change. That's what's going to happen now.
Not anytime soon.
And to me, and you saw part of it kind of in this off season. I mean, you go get. Zipper's from he's
Israel.
He's
Max McKinnon's from Australia. Tomba's from Spain.
Zipper's a freshman. And he's
26-year-old freshman. Yeah. Right. You know, I mean,
we didn't make the rules. He's just playing by them.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, look, they were doing it in football when you would go get the Australian kickers.
Right.
And so I guess you should have seen it then. But yeah, you got Tomba from Spain. You got McKinnon from Australia. You got Zipper from Israel. Look, great kids. I mean, look, Tomba has really and here's the thing, and I hate to say this, is you got those kids cheap.
Right.
Really cheap. Like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? That's what we paid for this kid, and he's that big of a factor.
Right.
Now, you're not winning, but that's what this is all about. I mean, look, this is gambling, and you're gambling on these kids.
You're betting on these athletes.
Right. If you can get a stock that you think is a winner at a low price, you do it every time.
Every time you buy low and it goes up, you dump
somebody else will buy it high.
You dump it and then you go on, and that's what's happening. These kids come here, like Pablo Tomba. I don't know if he has another year left, but if he does, you know what he's going to be worth? Oh, DJ Thomas. You know what DJ Thomas is going to be worth next year?
Well, that's why
more than the $2 million you paid him this year.
That's why you in football announce we've re-signed this player, we've re-signed that player. That's why when LSU basketball did it last year, when Robert Miller had decided he was coming back, you had to post it and let everybody know Robert Miller's coming back, right? Or back when Jalen Reed, he's running it back because
re-signed.
The opportunities are there to go elsewhere, right? Because you've seen it. I mean, those are guys that came in on some freshman classes that had other pieces. They're the only ones that are still here, right? Like Jay Reed came in, it was him, Tyrell Ward, right? Well, Ward's not here, Reed is still here. Miller came in with Victorious and Curtis Givens. Well, both of them two are gone, but Miller's still, and it's.
And then look at those the people you just mentioned, like Victorious Miller. He's doing decent. He's doing really decent. Mike Williams at Seton Hall. He's doing decent. Corey Chest is at. Where's he at? I think Auburn, maybe? Ole Miss. He's not doing very much. Curtis Givens at Memphis. He's not doing very much. They paid Curtis Miller $1 million. Memphis paid Curtis Miller $1 million. And I mean, you get paid $1 million to not perform.
It's your investment, though. You think you can go get something.
Yeah, but I mean, seriously, come on, seriously. What is up with this?
Right.
$1 million to look. Hey, would you take $1 million just to do nothing? Sit on a bench?
That's the dream.
Travel?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Wear the jumpsuit.
Yeah.
But they didn't pay $1 million to do that, but it's an investment. You're like, okay, if you think this is what it's worth, I'll sign the deal right now, and then whatever happens, happens. But that's what you're investing in. You're taking a chance. When you say it's like gambling or stocks, it's that nothing's a guarantee.
You took a gamble on Jalen Reed,
right,
and he got hurt,
right.
And that's the same with DJ. I mean, you bet on. I mean, he's the most expensive player on the roster. You bet on him. You spent the money. You got what you paid for. But there are real life factors that play into if you're going to get the return on your investment or not.
And that's the funny thing about this whole McMahon era is after they beat Missouri, it's like, oh, I can see it. And then they go to Florida, a game they weren't supposed to win. They were underdogs by 16 points. And what did they lose by? 17 points. The answer was right there for you. But then it becomes, oh, McMahon, you see what they did against Missouri. I have all the confidence in the world. Like he's off the hot seat. Loses, fire him. Like that's the world in which he's operating.
And that's the world we live in. Yeah. It is. And it's frustrating as a fan. I mean, look.
On the bandwagon, off the bandwagon.
You gambled on Lane Kiffin.
Right.
You gambled on Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly spent, what, $19, $18, $20 million on the thing? You didn't go anywhere. It's a gamble. You know, before football season, man, we're going to win a national championship. And Nussmeier's going to be a Heisman Trophy winner.
Week 1, after beating Clemson, I was walking on air all week.
We felt pretty good.
But it's also because it's the first home opener we've won in like 4 years.
Right. Nobody can tell me anything the week from August 30th, 1st to September 5th. Well, then they go out there and they play like that against Louisiana Tech, and it's like,
oh
no.
Here we go again.
And then you see Clemson lose to Georgia Tech.
Yeah, Clemson gets Troy marches down the field, and you're like, oh, we're not as good as we thought we were.
Right. That was Fugazi.
But you spent the money on Kelly and that investment, and you spent the money on Nussmeier, and he's got the injury, the whatever, and it's just you got to get the return on investment.
It's crazy, man. Like I said, and here's the thing. You could change this. I mean, we could literally take this show and do the same thing with stock market because that's what this is.
Mad money.
Yeah,
that's what this is.
Bad money.
Market, bad money, mad money. I mean, and there's so much wastefulness in college athletics because these coaches, the buyouts are getting higher.
Oh yeah,
$58 million to walk.
70 for Jimbo.
Yeah.
Adios. Fire me. I mean, Ed Ogeron said it. Which duel you want me to go out of?
Right, and that was 18.
And that was 18. Boy,
Peanuts.
Now he wants to get back into coaching. Well, he had to give 9 to his ex-wife, and
the rest of it kind of ran out. But I mean, Jimbo's sitting
elective surgery.
Plastics. I couldn't get it out quick enough. Put your head back in the window, Coach. Put your head back in the window. Just slow down a little bit. So
Charles, we appreciate you.
Absolutely love hanging out with you guys. Love talking. Like I said, people laughed the last time I was here. Like, man, you're
getting roasted again.
You're getting beat up, and I go, I got to be honest with you. No, none of that matters to me. I'm still going to do my deal. I'm still going to be an LSU fan, whether it's Matt McMahon, Will Wade, or
whoever
John
else.
Fran Tarkenton.
I just, it is what it is. And so if you love LSU, you're going to support it, and that's what I do.
Till the wheels fall off.
There you go.
And I'll put the wheels back.
By the way, gymnastics meet Friday night. You got to get to see that. Y'all been at gymnastics, haven't y'all?
Do what?
Y'all been to a gymnastics meet?
Yeah.
Lloyd?
I've never have.
Lloyd,
Never?
come on, man.
Actually, never? Wow.
Dude, that's one of the most, it's loud. It's almost as bad as a women's game with the high-pitched screaming.
Right.
But that's one of the most exciting sports.
My thing is, I don't understand it.
You don't need to understand it. You just need to watch the score being tallied.
Right, but
they do it for you.
But I don't know if they're doing it right.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
That's even better.
10.
Listen, so Jason and I think he came to his first gymnastics, and I know we got to go, but he says, I don't know who we were competing against, and they get on the thing, and he starts booing him. And everybody looks at him, he goes, I'm not supposed to boo him. I go, no, man, that's not etiquette. He goes, listen, this sucks. And I go, no, but go ahead and boo him. I mean, what difference does it make now? And so it's sad when a girl falls off the beam or falls off the bars and like, yeah! Like, oh, that's not very etiquette. But gymnastics Friday night, first home meet. I think everybody should come out. Like I said, support LSU.
Yeah.
You don't have to like the coach. Oh, well, Jay Clark is a cool guy. By the way, he was a C student just like me.
There you go.
Just like me. So.
She's good degrees.
National championship coach.
So enjoyed it with you guys. I'll see y'all sometime soon.
You got it. We appreciate everybody.
Door's always
tuning
open.
In. Yeah, it sure is.
I get it.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow morning at 8 to 10.
face. Come out the black just like a linen, I will make a pay. Man, I always been a winner, I know what it takes. Wake up every morning, number one, so what you trying to chase? Recruiting all the hitters like I'm Jay Johnson. Walk in the run up, Frank Wilson, you know they coming.